Welcome everybody to your TWitWoW Five Fave Fives. This is the 32nd edition of Five Fave Fives, and it is the sixth and final edition of 2024. Our next Five Fave Fives will be after the Royal Rumble, which is now the first Saturday in February. 2 months away. That's kind of crazy. But until then, it's like 9 weeks away, I believe. Until then, though, we do have Five Fave Fives to talk about today. It's only been 7 weeks since our last Fave Five, just because things were kind of timed awkwardly as far as the way that WWE went. So we've got our lists done: WWE, NXT, Marigold, Stardom. Not in that order. I said those backwards. And another list. Plus, we've got our Universal Top 10. John has had his list done long before we were supposed to go live today. I had a long day out today, got home at 4:40, and didn't get my list done until about 3 minutes ago. So I apologize for us going late. That is entirely my fault. But I am done now. I am happy with my lists. Well, most of my lists. My other list is a little more shallow. I would have liked to have done more research, but I kind of fucked myself out of that. So apologies for that. But that being said, we are ready to do this. We hope that you're ready to hear this and maybe even join us on this. And John, if you're ready to go, we can get into this.
Yeah, I'll just make some preliminary remarks myself. This is my favorite commentary that we do, so I'm just getting nice and relaxed here. First of all, no apologies needed from you, bud, because I really did put this list together hastily myself in certain ways. I even made a last minute adjustment while you were talking, which kind of shows you how fluctuating this grading period was. And really, I feel like it's a harbinger of things to come because I have made no bones to Ashton, guys, about how my year-end awards, it's going to be really difficult for me to put together. There's a lot of blank space right now, just because this year I think overall has been weird. The more I think about it, the more I think that there have been things I've been dispirited by, but I think there have been very few things that I've like popped ridiculous over, gotten really hyped about this year. It's been a weird year, but I think that's what makes these commentaries even more special, because even in down years, who are the people that keep you in it? Who are the people that are like, man, they're either just about to break through, or they're having their main event moment and they're killing it, or whatever the case may be. So I'm really excited. My other lists have really stepped up, mainly because I'm able to give shine to a promotion that I discovered. I talked about them last quarter. I'm definitely talking about them again for the bulk of this, and I gave TNA a little bit of love with one mention. Would have liked to have mentioned another person, but I did not have the time to do the research on them that I would have liked. So similar to Ashton with his other list. So you're not alone in this boat, bud. I'm still excited to do this, though. We begin with our main roster WWE list. And I think since I'm already talking, let me just take the lead and give my honorable mentions here. So my honorable mentions, and you guys know how I operate. I do 5 honorable mentions as if they were a like backup Fave 5 in case my original Fave 5 would go down.
It's the
So
B team.
exactly. From 10 to 6. So beginning at 10, Dakota Kai. 9, Kairi Sane. 8, Xavier Woods. If last night would have gone differently, he might have even made my Fave 5 because I've been loving douchey Xavier lately. 7, Gunta. And 6, Finn Balor. Love Finn Balor. So
nice.
who are your honorable mentions?
Number 10, Andrade. I know he hasn't been doing much, but man, when he's in that ring, it is magical. I love watching him work. Number 9, I know he's probably going to be in your Fave 5, but he didn't crack mine. Braun Breaker.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Number 8, Gunta. Very similar
Nice.
rankings for us. You had him at 7, I had him at 8. Number 7, Bailey. Big fan of Bailey. Number 6, the Wyatt 6. I think that kind of worked out well. 6 and 6, all that fun stuff.
Yes.
And then I think we can move on to your number 5.
Number 5 for me, Sheamus.
Nice.
Yeah, I really, really enjoy him in the ring. I think there's something about this later stage of his career where he seems just so self-assured. He knows who he is. He knows what he's about. I even watched, like, when you talk about, like, extracurricular and week in review, I watched a Sheamus match against Goldust when he was WWE champion on Raw, because they had a match on ECW that was far more competitive, and Goldust might have even won that one. Sheamus more or less squashed Goldust here in that match way back then. But you could tell, like, after the promo and stuff, like, they put the belt on him, but he was still so green in certain ways. And I like the experiment. I definitely think it was better than, say, the Jinder Mahal experiment with the world title.
Yeah.
But you could tell where he had a lot to grow. I mean, this Sheamus, if you were to put the world title on him now, especially as this kind of baby face that's just kind of the veteran that just wants to fight and just do his thing, I'd probably vibe with it at this stage of his career, but really the big thing is the Intercontinental title. That's the title he wants. I do hope he wins it before he calls it a career. I think his matches are consistently great. I think he's endearing enough on the mic. Like, he'll never have a memorable promo, but I like his energy. And yeah, he just seems like a good dude. So I just wanted to give Sheamus some love again. Sheamus coming in just at number 5. So who is number 5 for you on your main roster list?
Make sure I get this right. Chelsea Green.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I just
Yes.
love her so much. And I'm so glad that she advanced in the Intercontinental or the US Women's Championship tournament. I really hope she wins it, man. I know that there are a lot of other really good options too, but she's definitely my favorite to win. I wish she would have won Money in the Bank earlier this year. Obviously, that went to Tiffany. Not a big fan of that choice, but you know, you just kind of deal with certain stuff like that. Chelsea, though, fantastic performer, fantastic wrestler, fantastic actress. Just really one of the most, I think, underrated acts in all of wrestling. And honestly, really going through the WWE stuff, it was hotly contested for me, man. It was really, really hard to choose who I wanted to rank above whom. And I think there are just a lot of really hot acts right now that I had a hard time putting anyone above. And that's why Chelsea is only at 5 and not higher. I really normally would like to rank her higher. Like, I know last time around she was actually my number 2, but man, there are so many acts that have just really heated up in the last few weeks, even that I ended up putting her down all the way at 5. And I think by the time we get to the top ones, each one of my reveals will be like, oh, I can understand why you couldn't put Chelsea above them. So yeah, I love Chelsea. She's amazing, and I could not just not put her in my Fave 5. She's that good.
No, more than understandable, bro. Number 4 for me, Jacob Fatu. What's
Hell
funny
yeah.
is like we do have different tastes, you and I. We do have a lot of synergy in our tastes as well, to be
Mm-hmm.
fair. But I know we have divergences. But I will say, Io was so close to making my top 5. Because I thought her performance in the Battle Royal was insane. I still can't get over how she stayed in that bridge after she won. She is a freak. And then she owned WarGames. But Jacob Fatu, to me, every time I watch this dude compete, I'm like, I cannot wait for your WrestleMania main event. Because here's the thing, Zilla Fatu actually was on a podcast recently, and he said something that I found very interesting. He said, what Roman Reigns has built, he has put our family in such a strong position. It's up to Solo, Jacob, and myself, and like the other like young up and comers like in the family, that next generation, to maintain what he's built. And not only do I agree with that, because I think Roman Reigns has done something extraordinary just in terms of his impact fiscally and otherwise on the business with this run, but I look at Jacob Fatu and I don't even sweat it. I'm like, he can hold it down. Apparently that incident he had at WarGames, he was selling the leg. And Jesus fucking Christ, for how many times you and I have been saying that selling is a dying art form in professional wrestling, this guy may single-handedly be one of the best at it in the entire industry.
And it's so ironic too, because I've literally heard people complaining that he no sells too much.
No, he sells at the right time. That's the
Yeah.
difference. That's the fucking difference.
He's like a fucking
because
Samoan Ishii.
exactly, because like he'll be the monster when he needs to be the monster, but when he slips up and it looks ugly,
Yeah.
but thank God it isn't actually ugly, he's like, oh wait, I can show that I'm vulnerable, and then it protects him because ever since that spot, like he really wasn't the same in WarGames after that, and he was the tank for Solo's team. So when you're able to do that, not only do you bring credibility back to selling, which it sorely fucking needs, you also protect yourself and raise your own value. Like, oh my God, I could go on and on about this dude, which would make me wonder, like, well, why wasn't he number 1? And again, just because of my particular taste, he's not there yet. But do I see a future where this dude is number 1 on either of our lists? I could see it. I think when you give him the opportunities and you give him more screen time and he gets in that main event, which will take time, I'm in no rush. But when we get there, I think you and I are going to be dialed the fuck in on it. I mean, this dude is special. He is special. So, yeah, had to give him some love there. Literally, it's only because of the quirks in my own personality that he did not rank higher. It is purely a subjective thing, but give him time and he'll take it. He'll absolutely take it. So, who is next on your list?
Okay, so first order of business, I want to apologize for the slurping sound. I was under the impression that my mic was muted. It turns out it wasn't. I fixed it and finished my drink. Second of all, hell yeah, I fucking love that you ranked Jacob Fatu already. That makes me happy. Third of all, my number 4 is Shinsuke Nakamura, the new United
Yeah.
States champion.
Yes. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
He's been fucking fantastic since his return. Dude, it blows my fucking mind that literally anybody can watch that match between him and LA Knight at Survivor Series WarGames and come away from that thinking that Nakamura was the problem in that match.
That was me making a raspberry because of how absurd that is.
Dude, I swear to you, I've legitimately had conversations with wrestling fans who were like, Nakamura's washed, he's too slow, he can't go anymore, dude sucks. And I'm just like, how can you watch that match specifically and come away thinking all those thoughts about not LA Knight?
Yeah. And not, no pun intended there, but I'm just agreeing with you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck
it's
me.
just incredible, honestly. But yeah, no, Nakamura, honestly, he could never wrestle another 3.5+ star match again, and it wouldn't fucking matter because his current presentation and his packaging and his aura and his sort of star power and just the vibes of his current look and his current character and like I said, the presentation are through the fucking roof. And that's all you really need. And he's still Shinsuke fucking Nakamura. Like, he hasn't been the type of guy that's going to carry a shitter to a great match for like a decade or more. But you put him in there with someone that can go, and he's going to give you a solid fucking match. And you don't need much more than that when you've got everything else going for you the way that he does right now. And he's got a lot going on for him. And he is the most compelling United States champion that we've had in quite a while. Let me actually look up the United States Championship list of United States champions, and I want to try and see if I can point out who I would say was the last U.S. champion that was anywhere close to being as compelling as Nakamura. So obviously he beat LA Knight. Before him was Logan Paul, Rey Mysterio, Austin Theory. Maybe it was Seth Rollins. Maybe it was Bobby Lashley. I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's crazy. They have to go back that far, though.
Yeah, that's
And
2 full years because Seth dropped the title to Austin Theory at Survivor Series WarGames in 2022.
right, right.
That was
Jesus.
was that a cash in? No, no. Theory cashed in.
He cashed in on Rollins when Rollins was U.S. champ, right?
Was that his cash in though?
I believe it was because he stopped trying to cash in on the world champions because he kept getting the shit beat out of him.
It doesn't really matter, but yeah, that like I would say that's the last. And even then, like at the end of the day, that's just Seth Rollins. It's like cool, Seth's cool and all, but like, was 2022 Seth Rollins anywhere close to as interesting and compelling as 2024 Nakamura? I have to say no to that. There's no way, right?
I don't think so.
So, I mean,
No.
honestly, low key, maybe like Nigerian Prince Apollo Crews back in fucking pandemic era.
And was that even U.S. champion or was that Intercontinental champion?
Oh shit! I just saw Apollo Crews' name on here, and I assumed that was that era.
I didn't think it was.
Jesus, so it's been even longer. Then I would say, shit, fuck. I mean, then you have to go back real far, like maybe like Samoa Joe in 2019.
Yeah. God damn, man. I even forgot that Samoa Joe even held the U.S. title.
That's what I'm saying though, is like the US title's been in rough shape for a while. I mean, the thing is you could say Logan Paul just because he's controversial. But Logan Paul being quote unquote compelling because he's controversial isn't the same thing as Shinsuke Nakamura being compelling because he's actually fucking cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yo,
So yeah,
100%.
yeah. So yeah, Nakamura is my number 4. Let's move on. Who's yours? Or who's your number
Uh,
3? Actually, your number 3.
yeah, number 3 for me is Chelsea Green.
Hell yeah!
I love this woman. I love what she stands for.
Samesies.
I love what she stands for as a human being in this business, how she advocates for her fellow women. I love her comedic timing. I love just her delivery on certain lines. Choo Choo still pops me to this fucking day. I have to look at the timestamp on that actually when that first happened, because if that was early enough this year, maybe that would just be my funniest moment of the year. Because I fucking get giddy every time I think about it.
Are you thinking
She's
there's a
great.
possibility it might have been in 2023?
Yeah, it might have been, and obviously then it wouldn't count. But
Damn.
I mean, I love her. I love her promos. I love her character. I think she's slept on in the ring because I think everybody does. And I think that's the one stigma with comedy acts is that if you're a comedy act, people are going to think that you do that to compensate because you have no in ring. But Chelsea Green has in ring, 100%. I was so happy to see her advance in the U.S. title tournament. And I really do respect Michin, which is funny for me to say that because she didn't even make my honorable mentions, but I do like her. It's just, I just have it in my head, Chelsea Green, first ever women's United States champion. And I love that image and I love that idea. And I really hope WWE commits to it because, I mean, between the bumps she's taken, the setbacks she's had, I mean, we're kind of doing a similar story with Dakota. She's had her own setbacks and now she seems to be getting a push. Let's keep in mind, Chelsea Green early on in her career, she did get, the injury bug and this and that. But I also love that she's getting pushed now because this shows that this is, in a good way, a different era, because I still feel like if it was the Vince years, maybe she would have been forever punished for that or even released. We don't know. But I think Triple H, when he sees women like Dakota and like Chelsea, he's like, wait, I know what they can do. We just need to let them cook. And now that they're cooking, they're doing great. So, and Chelsea, I think, is definitely at the forefront of that. So I hope she wins the title. I hope she continues to thrive. I don't know how much longer her team with Piper is going to last because I know Piper felt some kind of way with Chelsea being dealt with by BFAB
Yeah.
during Piper's triple threat. But I even think too, I've had it in my mind that Piper could one day turn on Chelsea and Chelsea becomes like a mega fucking baby face. I
Hell
think
yeah.
dude, I genuinely, unironically think she has top babyface of the division potential.
Dude, definitely. Yeah.
And yeah, sky's the limit for her, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So, who is next on your list?
That would be Jacob Fatu.
Oh, I love that you had him even higher than I did. Talk about it.
Dude, it's crazy because as much of a physical freak as he is, I think I might like him on the mic even more somehow because he is hilarious on the mic. I love his delivery. I love his eccentric screaming, talking about how much he loves Solo all the time. I even love his shit talking while he's in a match, just screaming how much he loves Solo, even though Solo's not even in the ring at the moment. I just think his commitment to this character has been fantastic. And then you get to the in ring, and it's just like, Jesus Christ, when was the last time we had a prospect come along that was this good in the ring, this quickly, just immediately out the gate, no NXT experience whatsoever, just didn't need it. I mean, he's had two pretty public and really everyone saw it kind of botches on major pay-per-views, because didn't he have one was it at SummerSlam where it was going into the table, I think it was, and he sold the shit out of his leg then that we thought it was real, and that ended up with him in a walking boot for a little bit
Yeah,
afterwards.
yeah,
Was that at
yeah. That's
SummerSlam?
SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there was that. So literally the two big four pay-per-views that he's been a part of since coming into the company, he's had botches that he's sold the shit out of his leg, concerned everyone, and then it turned out that it wasn't as bad as it looked, which is great. I'm glad he wasn't actually that badly injured for either one of those. But other than those two individual isolated incidences, he's just been incredible at everything in the ring, on the mic, as a performer, just nailing it out of the park every single time. And I love him. And I really do think, you and I have been talking a lot lately, we've mentioned him versus Braun Breaker is a WrestleMania main event probably within the next 5 years. And I just am excited for the day that we see it. I'm really stoked about it because that face off that they had on the episode that the new Temu bloodline cost Jey Uso the IC title was like goosebumps. Everyone in the arena went damn near silent with anticipation of seeing what was going to happen between them. And like, yeah, that's how you know that shit's money as fuck.
Too, I mean, I agree with everything you said, but I love too, even with the botches, like he reacted so quickly to them,
Yeah,
you know, and like he's like, oh, let me get a sell out of this.
it's like
And so
it's like his
I love,
reaction time is so good that it's believable that it's the same exact reaction time as somebody who actually got injured. Because like when you get injured, you don't just. It's like okay, so hear me out here. Some wrestlers sell shit too fast.
yes,
Like if you like, I think AJ Styles is a good example of somebody who can occasionally sell too fast because he'll like when he does that like fall out of the ring that he'll do sometimes, and he'll like go to like grab a leg or something. Sometimes he does it too fast where like a normal person who does that and gets injured, they don't usually have that instant reaction. Usually the pain from the injury takes a little like a few seconds to really set in. Jacob does that. Like it's crazy that this dude has like the most realistic selling on the main roster, and he's only been here for a few months.
yeah, dude, I couldn't have said it better. Couldn't have said it better. Uh, Anything else you want to say about Jacob before I give my next
Who's your
person?
number two, bud? I want to know because I already know
Uh,
who your number one is.
Braun Breaker.
Not okay. I should have known that too, honestly.
Yeah. So yeah, not really much to say. He's a fucking Giga Chad. He's better than all of us. He's the next stage of human evolution. Learn to love it or get over it. I really don't give a shit which. Um,
Yeah.
he's gonna be making millions of dollars. He's gonna win capitalism, which is the best thing that this system will have ever done. And yeah, I'm here for it. I will say I do want him. How can I put this? Like, it's funny that you were just talking with Jacob, like about like his reaction and everything else, how he's got it down. I do wish Braun would slow down just a little bit on some of his stuff so that it would look a bit cleaner. I will say that because sometimes I think he kind of, yeah, it looks just a bit off or whatever. Um, but he is a hoss. I love when he really gets to show off his power and his explosive athleticism. I do think he is still very much top guy material. I am telling you, man, between him, Oba, and I still put Trick in there, if Trick can really figure other stuff out, but especially Braun and Oba, two titans that I think could really own this fucking business.
Yeah.
The next decade's going to be very, I mean, if we last generations and this and that with everything else happening in the world, but focusing purely on wrestling, the next 10 years are going to be fascinating if things pan out this way because I think Obafemi and Braun Breaker are going to be running shit, and that's a WWE I think I could get behind. And really, here's the thing too, I love Trick to death, but with how much love we just heaped on Jacob Fatu, you got to be thinking about that guy too. Like there are heavy hitters right now, man. There really are. I can't remember the last time that I really saw this many heavy hitters like in the main event kind of atmosphere or prospective main event atmosphere because Jacob Fatu, once he breaks away from Solo, that ain't gonna take fucking long. Yeah, and I think Braun is definitely a part of that. And two-time Intercontinental Champion, already enjoying this run. And we'll see what happens. But I'm still a big fan of the dude. So who's next on your list?
I think we're about to have a double splooge fest, my friend, because my number two is most likely your number one, and that's Kevin Owens.
Oh, you go first.
I have never felt like a well written in kayfabe WWE character has just fucking blown over the fourth wall harder than Kevin Owens has in his current run because he is literally just pointing out all of the inconsistencies with the writing that you and I have been trying to point out pretty much since April. And I say
Yeah.
since April because even though Roman wasn't around at that point, you and I were literally saying going back that far, I really hope that Roman doesn't just come back to uproarious applause and like just immediately get accepted back as the top babyface in the company without having to put in the work. And Kevin Owens is pretty much on the exact same page, and he's a fucking top heel for it. And it's awful that he's treated as a top heel, but also like he does still do unhinged things like pile drive a guy who had back surgery not that long ago and was missing a year and a half of his career because of it and stuff like that. He still does unhinged stuff to like justify being booed, but like everything he says is super duper true. And he's got so many valid points. And it's crazy because like I pointed this out in the Discord earlier today. It feels like they're building towards something that I don't think they're actually building towards, because we've got this faction, not really faction, but we've got this group of guys who are like, fuck Roman Reigns, fuck everyone who associates with him, and fuck anyone who's willing to forgive him for the 3.5 years of harm that he caused without him putting in the work to make up for it. And it's right now, it's Kevin was really like the front runner of it, but then he was joined by Seth Rollins, not really joined, but like in terms of like philosophically, he was, joined alongside by Seth Rollins and just last night, Drew McIntyre. And those three guys are like very much on the like fuck Roman Reigns at all costs side of history. And meanwhile, you've got Jey Uso going back to him. You've got Sami Zayn going back to him. You've got Phil being willing to work with him. You've got Cody being willing to work with him, being willing to set their morals and ethics aside because, oh, he doesn't seem that bad anymore. He's not the worst guy anymore. And it really is like WWE is painting this crazy, like, complex picture that almost does mirror like United States politics. I don't think they're trying to do it. I don't think they're doing it on purpose. I don't think anyone in the writing room is like, guys, Roman is Trump. Solo is Harris. Let's fucking go. No one's actually doing that. They're not doing that on purpose. But like, it's unbelievable how complex they're getting with this. And it's like these gray characters that are kind of being painted as black and white, but in reality, they should be more gray. And they feel more gray to us. And Kevin is like at the forefront of it. And he's the one that I feel like is really kind of making the biggest impact, at least as, from my perspective. So I'm going to shut up now and just let you take over.
No need to shut up because I think you said everything impeccably as is to be expected from your face. First of all, just to give my 2 cents on the broader points here that you made, I cannot tell you how much I appreciated Seth Rollins last night for even asking Sammy the question. Has he apologized to you? Has he apologized to Jay? Like, pretty much calling out, like, what has he done to get all of this unwavering loyalty from y'all? Because that makes no sense, and I really, really appreciated Seth for that. Speaking as a Kevin Owens fan now, given that, yes, folks, he is my number one. I say this every time we talk about, heel Kevin Owens, I will always love just keep fighting babyface Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
One of my favorite babyfaces since Pirate Princess Kairi and since Juice Robinson, who, God, his career, I don't know why the universe is doing this to him, but fuck me. So I will always love just keep fighting KO. But this might be my favorite heel KO that has existed. And I say heel in coquina clutch air quotes because that's how WWE is recognizing him internally. I still see him as the hero of this story. I think we have well for a long time now been in the age where heels can not only just be morally ambiguous, but even morally right. And that's really what I believe Kevin Owens is, unironically. This isn't scumbag. This isn't a bit. Like, he's telling the truth. We all saw it. And I think it's very alarming to me. And again, it is such a twisted mirror of our culture when the abuser is the hero. And I'm telling you, I really wish we could have snipped that audio and made it a separate upload, because I know it seemed to confuse a lot of people when we were like, oh, Roman Reigns is kind of emblematic of Trump. But we meant it as the character, that this character could do all these vile, heinous things, and yet people just want him immediately back into power after he's been ousted. I mean, that is a perfect one-to-one comparison of the last, 8 years of political cycle, and it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. And really just Kevin's performance in all this, he had one of the best promos of his WWE career, and maybe an all-time promo in his career in general. I would leave that to people that have been watching him since ROH, which I've never claimed to. When he confronted Cody in that tuxedo T-shirt, which I thought was a brilliant touch. And he really laid it out, and he really made his case. And I gotta tell you though, and again, I'm always honest with you guys, even if it makes me like, the grumpy, cynical grandpa. promos like that also make me sad because while I am hyped for Saturday night's main event and I'm going to get worked fucking hard because I know me well enough to know what's going to happen, I also know that this is Cody's time. I hate it. I want to, spring the clocks forward, all the way fucking forward to be past this shit, but it is his time. Owens probably isn't going to win. And I lament as a Kevin Owens fan that the best title win he's had in his WWE career was probably when he won the NXT Championship by ref stoppage against Sami Zayn. Because the Universal title win was okay, but Triple H had to help him. Kevin Owens didn't take that by brute force.
Yep.
His mid-card title wins, I barely even fucking remember. The tag title win with Sami, yeah, cool, I guess. But, like,
We're
I've
over
wanted
the
this
Kevin
guy
Owens
to...
Sami Zayn tag team by far.
I'm sorry, sir. Say that again.
We're over the Kevin Owens Sami Zayn tag team by far.
And bro, not only are we over it, but because I'm definitely the more overt sadist between the two of us, given Sammy has been trifling with Roman again, and he's, in the words of Javaris, for the streets as far as I'm concerned, I hope Sammy eats a pile driver next. I'm really getting sick of Kevin Owens getting the short end of the stick. So yeah, as like a mega Kevin Owens fan, it really saddens me that he's doing the best work of his career, but like he's not going to win the world title. And this is now the second time that I feel like he'd be a great choice to win the world title. The first time when he feuded with Roman, which in hindsight, I get why he didn't win. I still hate that Cody was ultimately the one to end it. I'll always think that was horse shit. But I get it. You were building something bigger than anything we'd ever seen. And Kevin was just an unfortunate casualty of that. But this, I mean, they are so lucky Cody does well in merch sales, apparently, because I would love for them to get the fucking belt off of him and put it on KO. I think he's been incredible. Even if you would have fucking Orton win it and Kevin be a transitional champion, I just want to fucking pop. And I know I'm not going to be able to, but he has done incredible work. And I know it's not about world titles, but that's the thing. When you're a fan of somebody, you don't give a shit about that. You want them anyway. That's the fucking point. And yeah, I love him so much. This has been incredible work. For him to be your number two shows what incredible work he's been doing. Because I know you've never disliked AO, but I know I've been the more out now Kevin Owens fan between the two of us. And you even said in Discord as he was cutting that promo, I think Kevin just made my fave fight. That shows you how transcendent that fucking promo was.
I'm just gonna tell you right now, it is on my list, my very short list for our promo of the year.
And how did Cody Rhodes respond to it? No, Kevin, you're actually the problem because you're self-sabotaging. What? That didn't answer a single allegation I levied against you. What the fuck is this shit? Jesus Christ. So yeah, that rounds out my main roster list. I think we know who rounded out yours, but just always say it because you know what they say about assume. Who is number one?
That would be Damage Control.
Yes. Very nice.
Yeah. I originally was just gonna have Io here, but you were like, "Oh, you could put Dakota Kai on your list," and I was like, "Wait a minute, they're in the same faction, and I also love Kairi too. I might as well just group them up and give myself the strongest number one I've ever had, or at least among the strongest number ones I've ever had." Because yeah, I mean, Io would have taken the number one spot by herself. Make no bones about that. Io is very much my favorite act in the company right now. Her performance at WarGames was fantastic. She has been absolutely killing it since she was able to turn babyface, and she's just been super over as a babyface too. I love that she and Asuka specifically are just whatever the WWE's writing team wants them to do, whatever reaction the WWE writing team wants them to get, they get it fucking effortlessly, man. Like they know their shit. They know how to do it real easy. And as far as Dakota coming back, I was so stoked about that. I freaked out about it when it happened in the Discord. Always love to see her around. Very happy that she won last night in order to get the in order to advance, I should say, in the Intercontinental Championship tournament. And Kairi is also in an Intercontinental Championship tournament first round match. Thankfully, she is on the opposite side of the bracket as Dakota, so there's no chance they're going to meet in the second round in the semis. But there is a chance that they could meet in the finals. That would be fun. An all damage control finals. That would be crazy. I would love it if Kairi would just advance one time and then, I don't know, maybe lose to Lyra. I wouldn't mind that. I really like Lyra a lot. But Lyra is not on my list because she just hasn't really done anything lately. I love Lyra, but she hasn't gotten anything to do. So yeah, Damage Control, number one, really easy choice for me because it would have been Io by herself. And then when you count the fact that I also love her faction mates, it makes it really easy to just make the whole faction number one by a mile.
All right, well, that rounds out WWE main roster. Let's go to
Yep.
NXT now. Since I open main roster, you can open NXT. Who were your honorable mentions, good sir?
Number 10, Dion Lennox. Number 9, Gigi Dolan. Number 8, Zarya. Number 7, Stephanie Vaquer. And number 6, Roxanne Perez.
Very nice. I will say right now, because you guys know how much I love Roxanne, I feel like for me, she didn't do too much this quarter.
She
So like,
literally only wrestled 2 matches since our last Fave 5, and they were both tag matches. It was the one Halloween Havoc tag match where it was her and Cora against Julia and Steph, and then the big 10-woman tag match to close out the one show.
so yeah, because of that, I will say she's not on my list at all. Just in case anybody's like
And
wondering
yeah,
about her absence for
totally
me.
fair. And the only reason that I had her on my list as well is because I just remember how great she is, and you know, those 2 matches, I felt like she especially stood out in the tag match, the Halloween Havoc match. It felt like she stood out pretty much. So
Hey, that's more than fair, man. I just wanted to put that qualifier out there because, again, I know how I rave about Roxanne when we get to these.
yep,
She did not make it for me.
makes sense.
So to go from 10 to 6, funny how you and I have very similar wavelengths about some things because 10 for me also was Dion Lennox.
Nice.
9, Julia.
Hey, nice, nice, nice.
8, Stephanie Vaquer.
Again,
7,
similar.
Ashanti the Adonis.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm really enjoying his story with Carmen. I love that they're toxically codependent. 6, Trick Williams.
Okay. All right. I guess I'll go next with my number 5, which is Julia. Actually, didn't take long for her to break into my list. I feel like she's really been finding her footing in NXT just in the last month and a half, which is about how long our grading period has been. And she was already at number 8 on my last list, and it didn't take long for her to find her way onto my proper Fave 5. So she's at number 5 for me. Also, it helps that she hasn't talked in this grading period, I don't think. So that definitely is a boost. And she's been putting on really great matches. I definitely felt like she was like the standout star of that 10-woman tag before Zarya just came in and did shit. And I feel like she's been really standing out on her own in some of the singles matches that she's been having. She did qualify for Iron Survivor. She looked great in that match as well against Kalani. And yeah, I just feel like Julia has really kind of found herself finally in NXT, and it's just a matter of time before she shoots up my list even further.
Well said. 5 for me and QCC.
Dude, they're my number 4. We can, do stuff together.
Excellent, excellent. Well, then I'm
Beautiful.
going to keep this brief since you actually had them higher than me this time around. Um, I and really, I gotta be honest. This is mainly because of Ren Sinclair. I
See, and it's more
love
even for me because I love Ren, but I also have really been enjoying Charlie a lot lately too. He's been hilarious.
like how more laid back he's become, and he's also like balanced it with comedic chops for sure,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. But I mean, you know that when I get so into a gimmick, like I'm adding stuff to the gimmick just in my own fandom because I've called her in the Discord Mother Hen Ren just
Yes.
because of how she dotes on other members of the group. Can you talk softer? Miles has very sensitive ears. Like, God, I love her. And then making matches for Charles, and Charles is like, what are you doing? Really, really, Tavion Heights, he needs to do more next quarter.
Dude,
He
I
is a
know.
beast.
Please.
He like you did not put him in the N1 just so that he could be, a more muscular towel guy for Charlie. Um, so yeah, I want him and Miles to go after the NXT tag titles. I mean, hell, if you're having Tony D work with somebody as mid as Ty Spears, have Tavion go against Tony. Tell me we wouldn't all want to watch that shit. Like,
Please.
yeah, see, there you go. But yeah, they only ranked 5 for me because I'm still waiting for them to go beyond the Heritage Cup. Really, I would pop if Ren somehow managed to win the Last Chance Fatal 4-Way tonight to qualify. I mean, obviously, I want Jada to win, but being realistic, she's gonna have NXT Underground with Lola.
Fuck.
So, dude, I know. Honestly, sincerely, for as much as I love Ren, I know. I get it. I hear you.
Number of
Yeah, I mean,
people
I
who
love.
asked for Jada to feud with Lola, fucking no one.
Yeah, exactly. And if somebody was actually out there, sit the fuck down. But yeah,
Who
I
do you
love this
think you
group.
are?
Yeah, I love this group. I've loved technical wrestling since I was a child, and the idea that you have technical wrestlers that are good, but that also can be comedic and laugh at themselves, because that is one problem I have with technical wrestlers in this day and age, and you could say it was a problem too in the Ruthless Aggression era. Well, kind of, because Kurt Angle was fucking hilarious sometimes, but they've got to be so serious, like, oh, I'm gonna break your fingers and all this. It's like, nah, bruh, relax, relax. Like NQCC, I think is everything done right, and I just want this group to do more. And again, big shout to Ren Sinclair. I'm really, really proud of her. I didn't know how I was going to feel about her when she first came in the company, and I know I was kind of worried about her because she had that stigma of, oh, she worked with Cora Jade on that house show before Cora got injured, and I'm like, oh god. But she has really come into her own in this group. And again, Tavion, I think, is great. Charlie is great. Miles is probably the one that I'm the weakest about, but you know what? I will stand him for no other reason than it's just so nice to have disability representation in pro wrestling with him being deaf and like have it be positive and not stigmatized or caricatured. Like, very fucking refreshing. So yeah, NQCC for life, baby. Let's not be a New Day and keep this faction together. Let's
Oh,
let's do that. So who's next on your NXT list?
well, we both had NQCC here because you had him at 5 and I had him at 4.
Of course, I'm sorry, I blanked. So yes, no, you could talk about NQCC.
Yeah, I mean, really, I really have been loving Ren. I love that she's been really putting herself out there, trying to sort of impress Charlie and really kind of trying to stand out more, challenging bigger names. I know there was a point that slap heard around the world that she slapped Kalani. That was amazing. I think she actually went out of her way to challenge Zarya in the Iron Survivor qualifier. Really cool stuff. Been really enjoying her work. Charlie himself has been really standing out as a character worker, and then, of course, Tavion, just really want to see more of him. And yeah, even Miles obviously is kind of like the least um, compelling to me out of the 4, but even he has really good like comedic moments and stuff, and I enjoy him too. So yeah, we can move on. Who was your number 4?
Uh your boy bounced all the way up the rankings, Javon Evans.
Ooh, dude, I was so close to putting Evans at 10 over Dion, but I realized that just going by pure personal bias, I am more like invested in seeing where Dion Lennox goes than Javon because I feel like Javon's just good. Like Javon, he doesn't need my fandom to succeed. He's going to succeed independently of my fandom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I get that. And to be fair, I think he's going to succeed independent of either of our faces, and that's really saying something because I
Oh,
know
I
how
said my
magnificent our faces
fandom, not my
are.
face.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. But no, I gotta tell you, for me, what really drove him getting this spot was that tag match he had with Cedric against the fucking dweebs. He wrestled out of his goddamn mind. I cannot wait to see him in
Dude,
Iron Survivor
I
because
wanted them to win that match so fucking bad.
you and me both, bud. Fucking Wes. Um, But yeah, he like because here's the thing. It's a funny thing with me and Javon because I've never disliked the guy, but I wanted to wait a minute, because he is so young and he is a high flyer, and I feel like so many guys are high flyers today. So it's like, okay, well, you've got to be, different for me to really give a shit about you because so many people are doing flippy shit and this and that. But like, what I love about him is not only is like the shit that he does really beautiful looking, as because I always feel like there's an added, like an elevated level of aesthetics to high flying wrestling, but it's so fucking clean and it's so intense. Like, I don't think he had one botch in that tag match, and really in other matches too. It's not just that one match. I just think he consistently wrestles clean despite wrestling at such a frenetic pace because again he is that high flyer. I think he's very endearing. I have said repeatedly, he is a wrestler for the Zoomers. He is that guy. I
Yeah.
think he, is, I don't want to say their voice. I mean, that's a bit much, but he's definitely emblematic, I think,
He
of that
basically
generation.
he basically does what Tony Khan wants his ideal AEW wrestler to do better than anyone in AEW does it.
Exactly. Exactly. Um, I think he is so immensely talented. if he would win Iron Survivor, which I have my doubts because, well, I mean, deadline this weekend. I am expecting Trick to retain, and I'm only saying that out loud because I don't think we were going to do preview predictions for deadline. And so obviously you would want a heel challenger. So Wes is looking really likely, unless whoever wins the Fatal 4-Way, maybe they'll just be slotted in. I don't know, because it really seems like Eddie Thorpius, NXT might have plans for him. I don't know. But if you would pull the trigger on a babyface, I think Javon's your guy. I've already said that I feel like he's going to get a title shot at Stand and Deliver. If not him, certainly Oba. Oba, where the fuck are you? But yeah, I love this dude. He is really going to continue to grow, and he's so young. So yeah, I just wanted to show him some love here. And again, this guy I think was in the middle of the pack of my honorable mentions, so we went from there to number 4. So that just shows you how crazy this dude's getting. Who's next on your list, bud?
Number 3 on my list, Tatum Paxley.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, I have gone. I really, when we first saw Tatum Paxley was, I believe, towards the very beginning of NXT 2.0 when you and I were still actively live reacting every week to NXT before Dolph Ziggler successfully retained the NXT Championship against Braun Breaker.
Yes.
Um, and yeah, it was like 2022, I want to say, or one. It might have been. I think it was 22. But regardless, and I felt literally nothing for her at all. I saw nothing in her. I wasn't impressed. But that was also, she was brand new to the business, and I mean, just again, like I saw nothing. And then she kind of started doing like the spooky girl stuff, and that kind of stood out. And then she started using the tequila shot, and that kind of stood out. And there was just little things getting sprinkled along the way that kind of made her stood out a little more and a little more and a little more. And now this year, man, she has become a downright great wrestler. She is really good at this wrestling thing, and she has gotten really good in such a short amount of time. It's kind of crazy. And you
Yes.
combine that with a great look, with her really embracing the goth look, and a really good character actor on top of that. And she has really shot into the stratosphere of, like, I would call her an A tier NXT wrestler among the women's division, and really just in general. I mean, I say among the women's division, but at the end of the day, A tier women and A tier men, I would say, are pretty much on the same level at NXT. So it's not like, that's a distinction that really needs to be made. I
Yeah.
really like her a lot, and I love what she's been doing lately. And I forget, did she challenge Kalani already? Did she just recently lose to her?
You're thinking, first of all, she challenged Fallon, and that was last week, bro.
Fallon, yeah, that's what it was. And I really wanted her to win that, and I wish she would have, but it was still a hell of a match, excluding, excuse me, aside from the finish. Finish aside, great match still. And that was like literally while that match was happening, I was like, oh my God, Tatum has gotten so good at this. Like in the Discord, I was saying that. And so, yeah, I just really, really appreciate the growth. And that's kind of like you and I, that's our thing. Like we love watching wrestlers go from zero to hero. And
Yes.
I feel like Tatum Paxley has really kind of done that already. And I feel like it's probably not over either. She's probably still got a lot of room to grow, but I feel like she's already just really, really good at what she does, and I'm just really impressed by her. And I'm just enjoying the work she's been putting in, and especially like the doll gimmick I think is really cool, and just yeah, really good stuff. So who's your number 3?
Jada Parker.
Wow. Okay. Nice.
I love, first of all, I love the San Andreas vibe with like her theme and OTM's theme and their aesthetic. Um, I have said repeatedly, and you have said repeatedly, her as a talker. Oh my God, she she could sell me snow, and I live in New England. We just had a huge snowstorm. She could sell me snow, and I hate snow. That's how good she is. Um, what else is there to say? Like, I really, dude, I was the one that really was vulnerable because sometimes I do feel vulnerable when I really go out and praise a wrestler like in an extravagant way. And I definitely felt vulnerable when I said, like, she gives me Stone Cold Steve Austin vibes, late 90s Stone Cold Steve Austin. I feel vindicated every time she opens her mouth and talks on the mic. But now I'm really starting to wonder if this is a woman that's going to have a better main roster career than NXT career, like Bianca did.
I would
Um,
not. I don't know. I hope you're right, but Triple H, man.
Dude, I know. And I want you to understand when I say that, that's not me thinking that. It's more speculative
Right.
because she is in an interesting place right
With
now.
a
Like
pinch
in
of
my
hopeful, I
mind,
would assume.
I'm sorry, say that again.
With a pinch of hopeful, I would assume.
Well, yeah, a pinch of hopeful, of course, but I also can't deny the reality of what you're saying about Triple H and what many people have been saying about Triple H, and not wrongly, mind you.
Yeah.
But yeah, like she's got the goods, man. Like that's really all I'm trying to say. She is so immensely talented, and in an ideal world, she would be a favorite to win the Women's Iron Survivor. Because I'll be honest, like Stephanie and Julia are cool, and they're gonna do amazing things. I like Jada better than both of them, though. Like, I'm sorry. Like, do I think Stephanie and Julia could have a banger in ring match with Roxanne? Yes, because Jada's in ring match with Roxanne was good, but I think obviously Stephanie and Julia could have better ones. But if you're talking about a story and you're talking about characters, Jada Parker has a better character to me than most people on the NXT brand.
Dude, let me
Um,
put it this way.
yeah,
Andrade has been in the United States for a decade now, and Asuka has been in the United States for over a decade now.
yes,
And I don't think that either one of them speaks really that good of English, and they have had a decade to learn it at this point. I do think Julia is further along than Asuka is even now in terms of
yes.
English, but Steph is nowhere close. And I think that Jada, this is my main point, Jada is going to catch up and maybe surpass them in the ring long before either one of them gets anywhere close to her on the mic.
And you know what? I hope that prediction bears fruit, man. I really do because I think there is also a hint of bitterness in this pick because again, I'm not rooting against Julia or Stephanie, but I feel a certain way about the potential favoritism that could be coming their way at Jada's expense. And so I don't know. I don't know. I just think Jada Parker has got so much to give. And if she's not able to give it because, oh, we're going to focus on these international sensations who, let's make no bones about it, they busted their ass to get here. I don't want to shortchange what Stephanie and Julia have done, but Jada's busted her ass too.
Yeah.
And like, she didn't come from elsewhere. You know, she started from the ground up. She's part of, WWE's new initiative to kind of broaden their recruiting net. And I think she's made the transition so beautifully. I want to see her challenge for championship gold again. I don't care for this Lola Vice feud. I was over it after she won the street fight in the ECW arena. But Lola now wants to do NXT Underground. And let me tell you something, NXT. If you're having this feud do NXT Underground, Jada better win because Lola's undefeated, I think, in NXT Underground. So that's a big deal for her character. Jada, for her to take that from Lola, not only should that end the feud, that should get Jada at the very least a women's North American Championship match. And she wanted to do shit with Fatal Influence anyway. That's how this whole beef started, if you remember. She wanted Fatal Influence, and so did Lola. So I think it would really complete the circle if she ends Lola's streak in NXT Underground and then goes after Fallon for the Women's North American Championship. So that's what I would love to see, and she should fucking win it because this woman is a diamond on your brand, and you really need to start giving her more stuff to do and more responsibilities so that I could see her hit the ball out of the park more and more. That's all I got to say about that. Who is next on your list?
Number 2 on my list, Oba Femi.
Nice. Nice.
Here's the thing. He is perpetually my number 1. Always my number 1. He's number 2 this time around because he hasn't had shit to do.
Yeah, because Halloween Havoc was part of this grading period, right? In the build up to Halloween Havoc?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, at least he had that incredible matchup, but that finish
Yeah.
was kind of bullshit and he lost. So,
Yeah, our last Fave 5 was on October 15th, and he's had 2 matches since then. The destruction of Luca Crucifino in front of Tony D after he handcuffed him, and then, yeah, the TLC or TLS match, Tables, Ladders, and Scares, with Tony D. And those are both great, don't get me wrong, but they're both also over a month old at this point, and we haven't seen him since. And, like, I have a really hard time grading somebody even this high when I haven't seen them in this long. So my love for Oba is what's keeping him this high, but I could not rank him number 1 knowing how much great work the person that I did put at number one has been putting in and week out consistently on TV recently.
Yes. No, that's fair. That is fair. Um, yeah. Is there anything else you want to say about Oba, given the uniqueness of this grading period, or should I give
Um,
my number two?
I've praised Oba to high heaven in the past. I don't really need to add too much. If you want to hear me praise Oba more, go back and listen to me talk about him when he actually did shit.
Find his burner account and post it everywhere so we can all get it all the time. Uh, but yes, definitely go back to past recordings because we have sung Oba's praises to the hills and back. Number two for me, Tatum Paxley.
Nice.
I am so fucking proud of this woman.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Um, honestly, dude, a woman is taking most improved for me this year. Just a spoiler for everybody, because the most improved people I've noticed are consistently women.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking Tatum Paxley, I'm definitely thinking Victoria Yuzuki and Marigold, and there's somebody else that I've been
Jada?
thinking about. Jada, I think, is also on there, but there was somebody else that I was thinking about that wasn't Jada. I'll think about it later. This is not the time for that. But regardless, like Tatum is definitely in that conversation. She is absolutely wonderful. I love her promos. I happy cried when she attacked Fallon to answer the open challenge. And I was so hopeful she was going to win because I thought Gigi would run in during the match, and she didn't because, of course. But I really want Tatum to be a champion one day. My dream is for her to be a women's tag team champion with Lyra. I would love that. In fact, I mean, fuck anybody that thinks otherwise. I think that's a WrestleMania moment for me personally. If they would do that at a Mania, I think that'd be so goddamn cool. But yeah, I think she is just so endearing. She's really put the work in the ring. I love the character. I love her motivations. I love her complexity and that I think she wants friends, but she also wants to be a champion. And sometimes those things conflict. I mean, thank goodness her and Lyra were able to patch things up. And yeah, I've just grown to love her more and more. And her theme song, underrated banger to me. And then when I think about theme song of the year, that is also a contender. So yeah, Tatum is cooking on all fronts. But I am very curious, man, who number one is in your NXT Fave 5.
Oh, you actually haven't figured it out?
No.
It's Jada Parker, bro.
Oh my, it's so fucking obvious. Shit.
Dude, she has been killing it, putting in the work. Absolutely incredible on the mic, in the ring, just doing everything right in the last month and a half, really, or maybe most of the year, I would say this year in general. But like, yeah, man, I feel like she's been doing incredible work. She hasn't quite gone back to reaching the height of the peak of the slap heard around the world on Roxanne since then, but she's still just been amazing. Her promos are consistently amazing. You know, I'm not a big fan of the fact that they have her working with Lola, but she's fucking bodying Lola on the mic every week, and Lola just has no answer. The last time we got a really like substantial Lola promo was when she was talking about her struggles, when in actuality she was talking about her mother's struggles. Like, there's no competition. Jada is just in a class of her own in NXT's women's division. It's kind of crazy, actually. And yeah, she's my number one. And honestly, I love Oba, but again, he hasn't done jack shit in over a month. And because of that, Jada is in a class of her own, even in my Fave Five right now.
Okay. Fuck. Um,
You all right?
no,
What
because
happened?
because you unintentionally and unwittingly kind of got my ass because my number one is Obafemi.
Oh, oh God, I'm sorry.
Um, I don't have to justify myself to anyone. I'm gonna lead with that, just because of how I got roasted unintentionally for like 10 minutes. I don't have to justify myself to anyone. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Being serious with you, you are 100% right. Right. So then, if I'm conceding that, why the hell would he be number one? Well, think about it. This is my favorite commentary that we do because this is a fandom list. And I think about this dude constantly. I think about this, like, he has been off TV, and it feels like the universe isn't right. You know, it
Dude, I
feels like,
agree. You're right.
I mean, here's the thing. and I know I'm being extra right now, but I mean, again, I don't have to justify myself to fucking anyone. I low-key think that Oba, if he was on TV, maybe the election would have gone differently. Do you see what happens to the world when he is not present? Everything
That's
literally
why they
goes
kept
to
him
shit.
off, though. HBK's a conservative.
It all, that lazy-eyed son of a fuck. No, in all seriousness, I am genuine when I say I have thought about this dude constantly since he didn't get an Iron Survivor qualifier. And I think when you think about somebody that much, like, that is that Johnny Mundo, Chris Benoit level shit, which is great. Because here's the thing, I wasn't even thinking about Utami that much because she was still competing. And really,
Right.
if I am thinking about her a lot, it's more her world title match come January.
Let me ask you a
But
question.
if I'm thinking about Oba this fucking much,
Yeah.
what does that tell you? I
have a
work out
question.
to his theme song a lot. His theme song is fucking dope. In fact, I was kind of teasing theme music of the year. I'm thinking Oba's theme is my front runner right now.
Nice.
I fucking love that shit. I love how he walks to it because he realizes how fucking cool it is. And yeah, he only had 2 matches, but here's the thing, bro. I loved him in that tables, ladders, and scares match, and the idea that you're gonna try and Joe Pesci Oba fucking Femi, that's laughable to me. Oh, let's go in and let's gang up on him and let's do a crowbar. He will rise again. And when he does, I can't wait to see him turn you into an invertebrate because he's going to rip your spine out of your goddamn fucking back. When I go out of my way when a man is absent, and you know because you heart reacted to it in the Discord, I proselytized for this man. I got up and I did a sermon for this man in the Discord, which is why you should pay $3 a month to join the Discord if you haven't, because that's the content you're missing. I did a sermon for this man, and you want to know something? Unlike a sermon in any recognized church, mine had 0 fucking lies detected. It was pure grade A fact. This man is everything. I want him to win Royal Rumble. I want him to be a world champion. I want him to not only win capitalism, but somehow become capitalism, because I'm pretty sure that's the only capitalism I would vibe with. Rule everything, powerbomb me, both literally and euphemistically, whichever you prefer. I'm not going to judge. He's just everything. And again, everything Ashton said is so true, but given that this is a fandom list and I have thought about this dude so much and I have missed him so fucking much, I'm sorry, on a fan list, that should be a criterion,
Yeah,
because
100%.
who are you giving the bandwidth to? You know?
I wanted to ask you a question, though, dude.
Yeah, what's up?
Who are the 4 men that are going to be in the last chance match for NXT Iron Survivor?
Okay, it's going to be Eddie Thorpius,
Axiom,
Lexus King, and I think Cedric.
Cedric? Okay, yeah, I think you're right. What if Oba just shows up and beats them all?
Dude, the girthiness of his dominance, it can do it. It can 4v1, it can 1v4 all those guys.
That's what I'm saying. I really want there to just be a reveal of, like, Oba hasn't been off TV because he's injured. He's been hibernating. And now he woke up and he's pissed that he didn't get an opportunity to be an Iron Survivor. So he's going to steal it from all these other guys by entering into a match that they're thinking they have a chance at winning and beating all of them at the same time.
Bro, he's so much better than everyone else. Like, I'm like...
Because realistically, like, who in that match really has a chance at winning Iron Survivor? No one.
No, dude. And here's the thing. Of the 4, I respect Cedric, okay? Like, right. I'm actually going to put Cedric in the corner because he doesn't deserve what I'm about to say. But the rest of you fucking one of you veils face because your mid is fucking shit. Oh. The other one's having a conscience complex because I don't want to be my dad. Well, we already know that because you just decided from day one not to be talented. And then the other one just is going to throw a temper tantrum and be like, give me opportunities. I don't know. Show me some charisma. Oba is better than all of you. You're
combined.
Combine. Not only are you a waste of an Iron Survivor spot, I mean, I've been seeing the work all three of you have been putting in, or more appropriately, not putting in. You might be a waste of a roster spot. Why don't we just cut all of you and then give the money that you were getting paid to Oba and give him a salary increase? Because Jesus fucking Christ, one of them actually gets over and maximizes his opportunities, and the other one, well, veils face. So yeah, I'm over it. I'm over the idea that men's Iron Survivor is going to suck fucking ass because Oba isn't in it. And yeah, he only had 2 matches, but it really says something, and it really proves the adage of quality over quantity, because that tables, ladders, and scares match is standing out more to me than most of what the male roster on NXT has done this entire grading period, except for the men that I already mentioned on this list. Oba is a god king. We are all waiting for his triumphant return. I cannot wait for him to ruin lives, and I cannot wait for that Obafemi burner account, whoever it is, to be proselytizing for both of us. Because, I mean, I did my best in the Discord, but we need more people preaching the gospel of Oba. We need more people to know, because their false gods are going to die one by one. That's all I have to say about that. That rounds out NXT. Now we get to Stardom. I'm looking forward to this one. And I get to open... Actually, wait, no. Oh, you did give number 1. You did get, okay, yeah, you gave number 1.
Yeah,
it was
my
Jada
number 1
Parker.
was Jada, yeah.
Exactly, okay. I just know I step on your toes a lot, and I'm like, wait, let me just be sure. Okay, so Stardom for me to open, and man, I can't wait to get to my number 5 specifically, because I got to get something off my chest.
Oh,
but
boy!
We're gonna get to that, just got to give me a minute. Number 10, Hanako. Number 9, Meisera. Number 8, Azusa Inaba. She's really great, dude. There's gonna be more on that in a few minutes, but
baby
Trika forever.
The entire Trika is gonna be on both of our top 10s, I think.
That is so fucking hot. Holy shit.
Oh.
Tomoka Inaba.
Wait, you have Tomoka just 1 slot ahead of Azusa?
Yes.
Okay.
And Hazuki at number 6.
Okay, well, I was doing all right, and then kind of stabbed me in the heart there, but I'm gonna be all right.
I actually didn't mean to this time. That really says something. Like, I didn't even mean to.
Oh. Okay.
Who is your honorable mentions, good stuff?
I'm kind of tempted to move Hanan down to 10 now, but I won't. So.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Number 10, Micah.
Okay.
Number 9, Azusa Inaba.
Excellent.
Number 8 is Hanan.
Excellent.
Number 7, Saori Ano.
Very cool. Nice.
And number 6 is Mei Seira.
Nice. Okay, we need to talk.
Okay.
Number 5 for me, Momo Watanabe.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and this is really mainly because of her IWGP Women's Championship match with Mayu, which I thought was really good.
Yeah.
But also pissed me off because
Cheaty McCheaterson?
Yeah, you know what? I'm really getting fucking... You know what? No. See, I'm not going to do the usual bits of fucking Momo or insensitive feelings hurt her, because you know what? I'm tired of her being an insensitive feelings hurt her, because that moment where she threw the bat away after she used it and wanted to beat Mayu more or less straight up, I'm like, I miss that Momo. I don't know what it was about this match, but it really fucked with me, because it really made me, for the first time in a long time since her betrayal, miss Queen's Quest Momo Watanabe. I miss the Momo that would go out and have bangers and trust her wrestling and really give a shit and want to be world champion. Like, I don't know how she feels about Stardom. Maybe because she's so young yet, maybe she's already like, let me just get my nut while I can, financially. If she feels like her passion's been beaten out of her, I would love for her to take a chance on herself and leave. Not necessarily to Marigold, although I wouldn't complain because we do actively watch it, but just go somewhere else. She's better than what she's doing right now. And it's really getting to the point now where it's pissing me off, and it probably doesn't help that this is probably the most met on Stardom that I've ever felt. And so when I see Momo go out and do the kind of stuff that she did against Mayu and have a really fun fucking match only to lose and still be a part of hate and nothing really fundamentally changes, it hurts my soul, and it's really dispiriting. I think this woman's better than what she's been given. I feel that way for a long time. all jokes and my little, character beats aside, when I get into English commentary and I'm like, oh, fuck you, Momo, shaking the fist. I do think she should have been world champion by now. The idea that she lost that 2 out of 3 falls match to Micah, I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, I really, and I think it's even more egregious when we have Momo's youth right now, and it's like we're just squandering that youth for bullshit. And so yeah, Momo's a lot better than the company she's working for is giving her credit for, and I honestly wish she would just leave. That's really my honest opinion, but I don't think she will, and so I get to just be mad about it, like I am mad about a million other things. So that's great. But yeah, I wanted to give her some love because we have to remember what a brilliant performer she is, and sometimes they could really be masked and veiled and suppressed under a lot of bullshit, and I think that's exactly her circumstance right now. So Momo, I'm not going to say fuck you. I'm going to say fuck everything that's keeping you down and fuck whatever might have beaten the fire out of you potentially, because that's not your fault. I do hope one day, though, we get to really revel in the greatness that is you again someday. Because, man, that match, I'm like, God damn it. Fuck hate. Just, God damn it, Stardom. But anyway, who begins your Fave 5 for Stardom?
Also Momo, but this time Kogo.
Wow, dude, I was about to be like, no fucking way. All right, well, talk about the peach of stars.
Yeah, I just it's one of those things where I really tried to put this list together, taking into account who engages me the most and who gets me to really pay attention to their matches the most. And Momo Kogo is definitely up a high on that list. I've noticed that a lot of her offense has gotten crisper and cleaner and less clumsy over the years, and just over the course of this grading period, really, I've really taken a liking to actually like really being engaged and really watching her matches. And maybe that just has to do with the fact that she is teaming with Mayu, and Mayu is just such a layup. Like it's just so easy with Mayu, and Mayu is just a guarantee to have like a bare minimum good match. And Momo Kogo kind of feeds off of that, and I feel like she's at her best when she's working with someone else that's also good. Makes sense.
Yes.
But yeah, I feel like Kogo has really kind of settled into a really consistently good place right now, and I've really enjoyed watching her work lately.
Well, you've settled into a really good face for all time, so that makes sense to
Wow,
me.
thanks,
Yeah,
bud.
yeah, that happened. Number 4, I am so happy to finally welcome her to one of these because maybe I have before, but I feel like it's been a long, long time. Number 4 for me is Rena.
Nice.
Um, and we have it on record. Like Ashton said
I
about
do
other
want to
things.
confirm, by the way, this is the first time that Rena has been on either one of our Fave Five lists.
Well, then welcome home, Rena,
She
because
has
I
made
always,
she has
yeah,
made she has made both of our honorable mentions before, but this is the first time she's on a proper Fave Five.
I'll tell you, for me, it's been a long time coming. Because you can look back at the tape, look back at the archives, and Ashton can vouch for me on this. I have been an advocate of Rena for a while. I have gone out of my way to say that, oh, I like
Oh,
her, I see something in her, and this and that. And I feel like this Devil Princess tag team she has with Azusa, I fucking love it. I love these guys more than I really thought I would. They might be my favorite New Blood tag team champions, to be quite honest. Their matches are consistently great. They've been a kind of a surprise in the tag league, and it's just nice to see Rena growing in the ring. And I can't wait to see how she develops further. Really, I can't wait to see what post Oedo Tai / hate Rena can do. Because I mean, if she is really following Hana Kimura because she loved Hana so much, Hana did leave Oedo Tai eventually. And she went on to do her own thing. I do wonder if Rena is going to follow a similar path, or maybe one day she betrays Natsuko, or does something like that. Because we've seen before her have a conscience, not joining in on the beatdown of Kashima and other stuff like that. So I am just really curious how that's all going to go. But she is a New Blood Tag Team Champion. I thought she had a great run with the Future title, which we missed its ending because Miyu Masaki won it, and I don't think we watched that match. But I think her in-ring's gotten a lot better. I just love how cheeky she is, with the tactics. I think she's one of the few in hate that does the hate tactics that I don't really mind. And she's still so young yet. I think she's got a really bright future. So yeah, her coming in number 4. I've just been a fan of hers for a long time, and I think it's really finally bearing fruit with this Devil Princess tag team. So who is next on your Stardom list?
What was that?
I said, who is next on your Stardom list?
My number 4 is Lil Micah, Tomoka Inaba.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am not the biggest fan of her tag partner Rana Yagami, but I think that's kind of really just kind of further proof of how big of a fan I've become of Tomoka because I watch her matches and I don't like her tag partner all that much. So it's like, okay, well, if I'm watching her matches and I'm not that big into her partner, clearly I'm watching for her. And I just, yeah, I think she's fantastic. I think her kicks are great. I think she's gotten really good at the technical aspect of wrestling. She's got a great look, very charismatic, and really just kind of a really good worker. She, low key, she does kind of remind me of a younger Momo Watanabe. Since you brought up Momo Watanabe earlier, Tomoko kind of reminds me of like 18-year-old Momo Watanabe, low key, which is kind of funny because Inaba is like 22, 23. I think she's 22. But she does remind me of like a 17, 18-year-old Momo.
Yeah, I could see that.
She reminds me of like
Absolutely.
white belt era Momo when Momo had the white belt like right after beating Io.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
That's kind of who Tomoka reminds me of. And I was a huge fan of Momo back then, still am, but Tomoka is kind of scratching that similar itch for me.
Well, there you go. I think that's beautiful, bud. Number 3 for me, Mayu Iwatani. What
That's
is there really
beautiful.
to say?
Hell yeah.
It's fucking Mayu.
Yep.
She's a goddamn legend. I thought her match with Momo again was great. That backwards jumping poison Rana will never not be one of the most insane things I've ever fucking seen.
And she's hitting it so much more often lately now too. Like it's just automatic for her.
Yeah, dude, she's a freak, man. Like, they put all of their EXP in pro wrestling, but see, Mayu is an anomaly because she just seems like such a fucking sweetheart and not a shitty human being, which is so nice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's fucking like really. Anytime I have Mayu on the list, I should just be like, "It's fucking Mayu," and then pass it over to you. So no better time than the present. It's fucking Mayu. Who's next on your list?
Numero tres, Azumi.
Excellent, excellent.
Zoom Zoom has had an interesting few weeks because she does team with Miyu Masaki, and I find that less compelling than Azumi when she's just on her own or when she's teaming with other members of Neo Genesis, but that doesn't make it not compelling. I still do like O2 Line as a team. Um, it's enjoyable. I think Miyu is fine. She's decent enough. She's adorable, and I really just I think I would rather watch her sit in the corner of the ring and play violin while Azumi kicks everyone's asses than actually watch her wrestle. I think she's only just okay at wrestling. But Azumi, on the other hand, is fantastic at wrestling, and she I think she's gotten faster. Have you noticed that too, or is it just me?
I think she has, man. I don't
Yeah.
think it's just you in this case.
I wonder if it's because she's been training with May more.
Ooh,
Now
yeah,
that
I
they're in the
like the
same
sound of that.
faction, you know?
Yeah, I like the sound of that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, this is another one of those situations where unfortunately we don't have the subtitled promos, so we can't really say much about like personalities or anything like that. So it really is just a matter of like in-ring stuff. And yeah, I mean, Azumi's in-ring, I feel like has sharpened up a little bit. I already mentioned, I feel like she's gotten a little bit faster somehow. Maybe it's really like not like running speed faster, but just like thinking on her feet. Like transitions have been faster and smoother and stuff like that. But yeah, I think she's been really killing it lately, and I wanted to acknowledge that. So who's your number 2?
Hanan. I just think
Oh
Hanan.
wow,
Yeah, I just think Hanan continues to be really fun in the ring. I'm very invested in her every time we watch her. I want her to be getting back into the bigger conversations. I thought she did so well in the 5-star earlier this year. I'd love to see her get another white belt shot, but I feel like that's a little ways off. But I still believe in her, and she's still one of the people in the company that I am the most invested in. And even if I only see her a few times per grading period, that's enough for me. Just because, to me, I just care about her more than most people on the roster in this day and age.
yeah.
More
Unfortunately, we
now.
haven't really been watching her matches lately because she's teaming with Ida again. Ew.
Dude, there are so many women that I know you and I both love that I feel like their partners or their associations more broadly are what hold them back. And I'm like, I don't necessarily want you to turn heel. I just want you to trade up. There's a difference. Like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, still loving on to death. So who is next on your Stardom list?
Another example of somebody with a really shitty tag team partner that you and I would absolutely love to trade up, or we would love to see trade up. Hazuki. God, fuck, damn it, fuck, shit, no. Momo Watanabe is my number 2.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you had her much higher than me. All right, well, yeah. Speak on
But
it,
it
my
still
friend.
applies. Tekla. We want to see Momo with Saya or Konami, not with Tekla.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, I
Uh,
mean, honestly, pretty much everything you said about Momo applies here. Really, and something also that I really wanted to kind of address is that I really love that she is actually getting used occasionally by like AEW slash ROH slash New Japan Strong. I think that's really fucking cool because I think Momo Watanabe is a really great sort of what's a word here? Um ambassador to Stardom. She's somebody that really represents the company well, somebody that can put on a match with literally anyone and have it just slap, somebody that can make anyone look really good, somebody that can um, really be a really good representative for Stardom and make the company look good. Just because she is going to make, she's going to put on great matches with just about anyone. I know that. Oh shit! I don't know how recent this was, but I know that earlier this year, this wasn't part of this grading period. She had a match with Mercedes Moné, and it was for the IWGP Women's Championship, or it was for the New Japan Strong rather Women's Championship, and it was one of those situations where she sold the Monet maker better than I think literally anyone ever has. It was at the end of August. It was a Capital Collision, and she got a lot of praise for that. And I know that she was on a Pro Wrestling Eve show earlier. I was going to say this month, but it's December now. So it was at the beginning of November. Of course, she was, she did the historic crossover match with Mayu that was fantastic. A lot more eyes were on that than your typical Stardom show because it was also a New Japan show. So just consistently using Momo as somebody that you get more eyes on to bring eyes to the Stardom product, I think is just really smart. And I really am proud of her for delivering in all of these situations because she is legitimately, just honestly, I'm not even going to make any bones about it. She's probably just the best wrestler on the roster. Strictly from an in-ring standpoint, she's probably the best there is. Probably one of the best wrestlers in the world, honestly. And I am really happy that she's being featured more heavily now. I don't know why she hasn't been for years and years and years. I feel like the last time that she was featured this heavily was 2019 when you and I first started watching. And it's about damn time, honestly. It's about damn time. And I really hope that all this, her being featured and delivering in these big spots, leads to a world title sooner than later, preferably. Please.
I mean, well said, man. I'm glad that you and I, there was a lot of synergy in both of our commentaries about Momo Watanabe.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, we need a change here. Number one for me, Starlight Kid.
I knew it. I had it typed out before you even said it.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Again, if this is a fandom list, Starlight Kid, this grading period got the biggest pop out of me when she pinned Natsupoi in that four-way to get a title shot. For Natsupoi's Wonder of Stardom Championship. Um, I personally hope Kid wins it, but do I think she will? No, because apparently Stardom belongs to Cosmic Angels. Hooray. But yeah, Kid
Fucking
is
biblical
still
angels, fucking horror show ass.
exactly. Ano, I wish you'd leave because I love you. I don't want you to be implicated in this,
Leave,
but
just to be specific, leave Cosmic Angels while staying in Stardom.
yes, exactly. How you haven't betrayed Tamantha,
I'm surprised you didn't have Ano in your top 10.
you know what? I feel like it's because I really didn't really take much note of her this grading period, um, relative to the other people on this list. But yeah, I mean, Kid again pinning Poi got the biggest pop out of me in Stardom for the grading period. I'm just in a really, really bad place at Stardom at the moment because I hate the booking. I don't care for the hate faction, not in the way that they don't want me to care for them. And yeah, I don't like the Cosmic Angels is so dominant gold wise, and just a lot of problems, a lot of problems. But Kid definitely was a bright spot getting that win. I can't wait for a Wonder Stardom title match against Natsupoi. Again, I hope she wins it. I have my doubts, but she is a brilliant competitor, truly wonderful. And yeah, who's number one on your list, bud? Again, I think we know, but I always want to,
Yeah, no, I accidentally gave it away. It's Hazuki.
Was it really an accent though when we all saw it coming? I mean, she's precious. So
She is fantastic, and I do feel like she's had a pretty exceptional grading period. I know that she's kind of been feuding with Starlight Kid. This is post depressed Hazuki, so she's kind of back on her bullshit, punishing people that cross her the wrong way, etc.,
yes,
etc. So yeah, it's great to see her back to herself. I wish they would have found a more creative way to get her here. I miss the, you know, just that fleeting moment where Micah hugged her and then forearmed her and fired her up. That was one of my best moments of the year, honestly, in all of wrestling. And it
oh, that
was
was, yeah,
completely dialogueless, and yet it just told so much. Like it spoke so much without saying a word. And Hazuki did manage to kind of get back to herself. I still really, really want to see her betray Koguma. I can't stand Koguma. Now that my Sakurai is no longer a part of Stardom, I think Koguma is my new least favorite member of the roster, even below Saya Ida at this point, because I've actually grown some respect for Ida.
yeah,
Um,
wow.
but yeah, no, Hazuki, despite the fact that she's still associated with Koguma, is still just my favorite in the company by not as much as she has been in the past. It's not like a wide margin, but she's still at number one for me. And this was an example, by the way, earlier where I was putting together my top 10 master list, and I originally had Momo at one.
Yeah,
But
wow.
then when I was putting together my master list, I had Momo at like six or something. And I was like, you know what? I kind of want to put Hazuki above Momo in my master list, so I should put Hazuki above Momo in my Stardom list.
Yeah. Don't pull a John and have things all backwards. Clean
Yeah.
that shit up.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get into our Marigold lists. I will start this one since you went first last time.
Yes.
From 10 to 6, Mitsu Matsui, Mirai, Rei Seto, Naho Yamada, and Victoria Yuzuki.
I will tell you guys right now, I think my Mata Gold list overall had the most radical changes this quarter. So
I know
from 10 to,
Yuzuki's going to be high on yours.
oh yeah, 10 to 6, Bozilla, Mila Grace, Kizuna Tanaka, Koki Amare, Rei Seto.
Nice. You have Seto even higher than me. That surprises me.
I really like her, man.
I do too, man. I do too. All right. My number 5 is Kizuna Tanaka. You had her at 8. I have her at 5. She cracked my list. I really enjoy her work. I think she is, and really more recently, I've noticed that she's one of very few younger women in Marigold that really fucking lays in on her forearm strikes. A lot of the forearms in Marigold specifically, this isn't as much of a problem in Stardom, but it is still a problem there too. Like especially like the lower card, a lot of the forearms look real weak, and they look like they're just doing them because they know they're supposed to, and that this is kind of just what wrestling in Japan is supposed to look like. And Tanaka is like, nah, man, if I'm gonna forearm you, I'm doing it with some fucking intent, and I love that about her. I love, excuse me. I think she moves really well in the ring. I think that she has a really interesting move set, really cool movements, and great look. And she's really, really young. And that's really, really exciting because she hasn't been doing this for very long and she's already pretty damn good. I've said before, she reminds me of a young Hazuki. And I think you mentioned the other day that she kind of reminds you a little bit of Tam Nakano.
Yes,
And
yes.
I mean, the big difference there is that even when Tam first got into pro wrestling, she was on a little bit on the older side, like late 20s. Tanaka is, I think, 19 or 20 years old. And so even if we want to say that she's like somewhere between Hazuki and Tam, the fact that she is like 19, 20 years old and already reminding us of both of them just speaks volumes about how good she is at such a young age already.
I think that was beautifully said. Cracking my number five, top five at number five. Nagisa Nozuki.
Hey, she's my number 4.
Excellent. I really do like her. I stand by that. But the other women on this list, especially 3 and 2, just to kind of give a little bit of hype
Ooh,
there. Uh,
teaserino.
yeah, I really really respected their work this quarter and really grew to love them immensely. So it's no diss to Nagisa because I mean she is still in the top five. I thought her match with Miku was very physical. I love her style. I love her personality. I want her to team with Bozilla. I don't like Chiaki. I'm sorry. I think her and Bozilla are a much more compelling tag team, and I could totally buy them beating Mirai and Sakurai for the Twin Star tag titles.
Yeah,
But I just want Nagisa to be a champion in Marigold. I think
yeah,
she's fantastic. I think she is so consistently good. Um, you know you're something when you can beat Utami in the Dreamstar Grand Prix, which she did on night one, and I'm not even too mad about it because I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Like Nagisa's just that much of a badass. And so yeah, all the respect and love for her. Who is next on your Marigold list?
number 4. Well, it was Nagisa. It was Nagisa was number 4 for me,
Yeah,
actually.
again,
Yeah,
the second time I did that. So yes, now you talk about Nagisa for a bit though, man,
yeah.
because you
No,
had her higher than I did.
she's awesome. I think she's really cool. I love her attitude. I love her charisma. She has some aura to her, some presence, and her in ring, man. I think I'm trying to think. So we've got like Utami, Mirai, Sori, Miku, Shizuki, and I think I would put Nagisa right there. So I would say she's easily top 6 in the ring in Monty Gold. I don't know where I would rank her among those 6 women. I would probably say towards the bottom of those 6, but still, just being top 6 is towards the top of the roster for sure. I think she's fantastic, and I always enjoy watching her matches. Less so when she is teaming with Chiaki, but still, I still enjoy watching her matches regardless. And I think she brings out the best in Chiaki, which is, I mean, that speaks volumes because again, you and I aren't big fans of Chiaki, but when we get the Nagisa Chiaki team, we might bitch and moan about it not being Bozilla and Nagisa, but we still enjoy and we still watch and we still do end up tending to like those matches more often than not, just because Nagisa is so good and Chiaki. I feel like Chiaki does kind of let her hair down a little bit more when she is teaming with Nagisa, whereas when it's more one on one, she kind of does like the more honorable route and she kind of really tries to win by her own merits kind of thing. But then like when she's with Nagisa, it's like, no, I'm gonna fuck around and cheat and have some fun more, and that's just more enjoyable, I think.
Yeah, yeah. All right. I guess I'll talk about my number four.
Yeah, please do.
Number four for me is Miko Aono. Yeah, I know. She's still fantastic, but again, I just like the people ahead of her more this grading
Yeah,
period. I
I get
mean,
it. I get it. I
yeah,
was doing the anime voice because I had it prepped for if you said anyone in my top 3.
yeah. There you go. Uh, but yeah, I
Actually,
mean, no,
really, it was for if you said anyone in my top 2 because I know damn well that my number 3 is going to show up in your probably number 1 spot.
yeah, there you go. But yeah, I mean, Miko Aono's fantastic. I still love that she's United National Champion. She definitely still deserves to be. It's just, like again, just people ahead of her. I like them more. So who is next on your list?
Number 3 for me is Utami Hayashishita.
It fucking should. All right, you can speak on it.
Yeah, I mean she's finally starting to, and I say finally, but like she has for a few months now been really starting to feel regal again, feeling royal again. Um, she is starting to kind of restore the feeling, as they say in AEW, of Stardom Red Queen Utami over the course of the last few months, I would say. And you love to see it. You really do.
Yeah, you really, really do for
I
sure.
really, really hope she wins the red belt, and not even anything against Suri. I would have probably had Suri in my Fave Five if she would have had just more going on for her in Marigold in general. I know that she won the Sukeban World Title from Commander Nakajima on their London show. Unfortunately, we were not able to watch that. And even if we were, I think it happened in October anyway. So, and then before our rating period would have started. So it wouldn't have been included in this regardless for the other section. But Sodi is awesome. And I actually considered including her, but then I kind of looked over her stuff, and like she had a title defense against Bozilla, and I remember not liking that match very much because I think they were both bleeding, or at the very least, Suri was definitely bleeding, and I wasn't a huge fan of the blood, and like it was just kind of not for me. Um, but I really want Utami to beat her for the title. Not because I don't like Suri as champion, more just because I want a more present champion in Marigold, and I feel like Suri isn't very present. She only shows up every now and then, maybe like once a month, twice a month at most. Um, Whereas Utami's on every show. Utami doesn't miss a show unless she has some kind of injury or illness that causes her to miss the show. And she's been killing it lately. Loving her matches. I've been loving her team with Koki. I feel like she's really a great option as like a mentor for Koki to help guide her and teach her and kind of get her head on right. And I feel like Koki has actually improved even just in the last few months, just under Utami's tutelage. And I love that for both of them. But yeah, Utami's awesome. I'm going to shut up now because I know she's going to be higher on your list.
Yeah, number 3 for me in the meantime, Yuzuki.
Victoria Yuzuki at number 3. I love that for you.
I have been so proud of her and how much she has really stepped up in Marigold. That match with Shozuki is still kind of living in my head. Her stuff has gotten a lot more intense, and it's just looking nice and clean. And
The
man,
Fuka effect, baby. The Fuka effect.
there you go. There you go. But yeah, I mean, she's really, really shining right now. Like I am really happy for her. I've been saying on Marigold Live Reactions, I can't wait for that rematch because I really do think she's gonna be the one to beat Shozuki for the title. And I'm kind of at a point, low key, where I won't accept anybody but her, unless of course you really build that person up that isn't her
Misa.
well enough. Misa, well, dude, she already got a rematch and she lost. So it's really gotten to the point to me now where it's like, if you didn't pull the trigger now, So we'll see. I mean, maybe Misa still, it's all about the story. So I guess that's still possible.
Third
But I'm
time's a
like,
charm.
possibly. But I mean, Rossi,
that's
when
the
he books,
Io Mayu story, man. It took Mayu 3 tries to beat Io for the title.
I mean, yeah, and I'm not about to diss Mayu. I value my life. But I mean, we also know that Rossi, when he was booking, and Bushiroad is still kind of continuing this, where it's like, this is my 7th shot at the white belt. Bitch! Like, fucking do it already or get
That's
off the
just
top.
you
What are you
just
doing?
literally just described Hazuki. Thank you very much.
Well, look, I know, okay? And that's another injustice. And hey, I implicated myself because Kid's also a part of that, okay? She
Yeah.
got multiple title shots in gold. And, like, yeah, it sucks, okay? I don't believe in it. Just fucking win the title. Shit. Win the
Fuck.
fucking title. Yeah, exactly. Fuck. But no, I really hope that Yuzuki in a rematch, she does it. And, yeah, I really think her growth, when I think about most improved and stuff like that, she is definitely at the forefront of my mind. So who's next on your list?
Number 2 on my list, Miku Aono.
Oh my god, I think I know who your number 1 is.
I would certainly hope so. She's been my number 1 since the beginning, I believe.
I don't pay attention, man. I go moment to moment.
You know
And
what?
in this moment,
To be fair, Miku and Utami were 1 and 2 last time, so it's fair that you wouldn't know this time. It's fair,
but I think I do know this time. I think
but
I
you
figured
should.
it out.
You should. You
Well,
should.
you know what? Maybe I did. Okay, so anyway, yeah, just talk about Miku
Are
Ono.
you okay?
No, talk about Miku
Well,
Ono.
why the fuck not?
You want to get into this right now? I will say your face in a very aggressive tone. Talk about Miku Ono.
She's our white belt champion, our United National Champion. She had a fantabulous match with the Super Flyweight Champion very recently. That was part of his grading period, I believe. And every time she has a tag match, anytime she's in the ring in general, she's just killing it. She just goes out there and she just kills it. She's a technician. She's a hoss in her own right. And you just put her in there in the ring with anyone else that can go, and you're just guaranteed greatness. And that's all I have to say.
Yeah, well, your face is guaranteed greatness. So, my number 2, which I'm like 90% sure is your number 1, Natsumi Shozuki.
You would be correct.
Fucking knew it. So yeah, I'm gonna keep this brief then.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. I knew it. I knew it all.
Why the
I'm great.
attitude, sir?
I'm turned up, and my natural default state when I'm turned up is aggression, and you just happen to be proximal to it. So I don't know.
The fuck did I do?
Gain some distance.
I willn't.
That actually calmed me down because that was ridiculous. Okay.
Nice.
Pipe down. Anyway, no, because I do want to be brief, but I do still want to say something because I know whatever you're going to say, you're going to do it impeccably and you're going to do her justice. I just love how technically sound she is. Um, she has had some crazy pin combinations and submissions in some of her matches that I'm like, damn, this is what technical wrestling should be. Brit Rest, you fucking hacks. God, I hate you. You ruined the art of technical wrestling so bad. Oh my God. But Shozuki's bringing it back, and it's a laborious effort, but it's one she's undertaking with aplomb and elegance. God, I love me. But yeah, she is absolutely brilliant. A wonderful representative for the super flyweight division. And you know that Marigold values her when they had her be Miku Ono's challenger for the United National title, and she gets to keep her super flyweight championship. You're damn right she does, Marigold. And I still hope one day we may be able to call her a United National champion. She's that good. So anyway, since you have her at number one, you can talk about it. Why do you love Natsumi Shozuki?
You know how we love to praise Jada Parker's promos because they feel so real, and it feels like whoever she's beefing with, it's like she kind of blurs the lines between kayfabe and reality.
Correct.
That's Shozuki in the ring to me. I feel like
Yeah.
whenever she goes after someone in the ring, it's like, oh my god, what did she do to, like, do you have real beef with her? Like, did she like try and steal your bag in the locker room? Or like, what the hell is going on there? That she has so much like venom behind her strikes and a lot of just in general her other moves too. And she's, I don't know, man. A lot of it also probably is contributed to by the fact that she reminds me of a younger Io in a lot of ways, which is ironic because I think she's unironically older than Io right the fuck now.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, she does. She reminds me of like 2013, 2014 ish era Io Shirai in Stardom, and that's like one of the most legendary runs that anyone's ever had in wrestling. That was when Io was like moon stomping bitches, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's like the attitude that I feel like Natsumi Shozuki brings to the ring nowadays. Like she really does show up in that ring ready to attempt murder if need be. And I love that about her. I love her attitude. I love her move set. I love her stiffness. She just checks a lot of boxes for me. Now I will say, as much as I do really thoroughly enjoy her work, I do not have a single Marigold performer in my global top 10, my master list top 10. And I don't want that to necessarily be seen as an indictment on Shozuki specifically. I see that more as an indictment on the promotion as a whole because it's just kind of gotten boring to me in general. Like I'm kind of bored by Marigold right now. I'm ready for something new to fucking happen. Like it feels like it's very much like spinning its wheels. And part of me kind of also gets that because I'm like, well, you've got a whole bunch of really inexperienced women here that you're trying to catch up to speed. And I get that. But also, you could solve this problem by just hiring more experienced women to put on great matches with. And Rossi just isn't doing it. And like he's even said before that I think he wants to increase his roster size by I think like 10 more women. Like they have 20, they want to be up to 30. But he implied when he was saying that like I'm pretty sure he wants to bring in all like inexperienced, like new blood level talents to just grow with the roster. And I'm like, okay, so you're just perfectly content with the like 6 women that you currently have that can really go being the only women that you have that can really go. You're not interested in bringing in like a Maya Yukihi or like a Maria or like God, I'm forgetting the name of that girl that got released by TJPW, the blue one that was in Up Girls. I forget her name.
Oh, well, I'm in a blank. Yeah.
um, oh, fuck. Hikari Noah.
Okay. Okay.
But like, there are free agents out there that Rossi could be bringing in and giving a contract to, and just padding out the roster with talent and putting on more compelling shows on a regular basis but he just does not seem interested in that. And that might pay off a year, 2 years, 3 years from now. But right now, I'm fucking bored, man.
I definitely sympathize. I actually share your sentiments considerably. I think only because of my number one, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it,
That
please. Yeah, I'm done
that
with
being
Natsuki.
Utami,
Yes.
that it's really and of course Natsume. And I gotta tell you, I think one of the biggest sparks, just to circle back to this very quickly, seeing Yuzuki grow and improve. Like that gave me life that I think I needed to stay with Marigold for a bit long. But and really your feeling about Marigold, I think I'm feeling that more with Stardom than anything. I'm like, oh man, Stardom, like the
See,
magic
and
is
it's
not there for me
interesting
right now.
because for me with Stardom, it's less like I'm bored with the state of the roster and more that I'm just bored with Tag League and ready to move past it. So like I
Yeah,
feel like I'm more like engaged and compelled by Stardom because it's like the problem goes away in a few weeks. Whereas with Money Gold, the problem isn't going away anytime soon.
yeah. And for me, I will say, I think the biggest thing for Stardom is that you and I are so selective in the matches we react to. But like, I can't wait to have a white belt champion and a red belt champion that I can really give a shit about. And
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
that problem isn't forever either, but like it doesn't help. But yeah, Utami, again, much like Mayu, when I'm like, it's fucking Mayu, I could say for my ride or dies, like Kevin Owens or Utami,
yes,
it's fucking Utami.
yep,
Really hope she wins the world title come January. I will say I agree with you. I loved what you said about her when she was number 3 on your list, that she is starting to feel more royal again. I feel the exact same way, that I think she's getting back to really being Utami again.
yeah,
And given that she's doing that right before the title match, gets me so fucking hyped for the title match, because I'm like, man, could her and Sari have an early contender for match of the year 2025? That's kind of the goal. When we watch big matchups at the beginning of the year, is who's going to take the initial lead. Um, Love her to death, always will. Enough said. We can move on to our final list, our other list. And I will just say straight out, I have no honorable mentions for other. Do you have any honorable mentions for other?
no,
Then I will begin with number 5, Joe Hendry. I've been following him kind of loosely since the loss, which I thought was incredibly just inept, by TNA at Bound for Glory. I have to say it every time TNA comes up. Nick Nemeth, not even once. But yeah, I still think he's mega over. I think he's solid enough in the ring. Doesn't need to be this technical aficionado. He has a gimmick that resonates with a lot of people. Now he's got to climb back up to the title. I don't know why TNA does this shit. It kind of reminds me of Bobby Roode all over again. He should have won at Bound for Glory 2011. Granted, I loved It Factor Bobby Roode, and it was a great heel run, but people very clearly wanted to like him at the time. But Hogan was like, no, I'm also on the card. I can't be out popped. Fuck you. God, I really hate the parasites in this fucking business. I swear to God. But yeah, I feel like Joe Hendry's a similar thing. Like, I get that Nick has done, I guess, solid stuff for them. Cool. And maybe they've been liking the title reign. Cool. But Joe Hendry's clearly the most over guy in that company. Might even be one of the most over guys in the industry when you look at the social numbers he pulls and stuff like that. He's crazy. And yet, like, they didn't give him anything. So I still like him enough. I can't wait to see his crowning moment if it ever comes. It's TNA. Let's not get too excited. Who is number 5 on your list?
Athena.
Excellent. How is she doing, by the way? I feel like I couldn't even put her on my list this time because I've been so checked out.
Not as well as she should be, based on the fact that she's not on television at all.
That's depressing.
I mean, I'm just being real. Like, she hasn't wrestled in a month at this point.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And she's not
Um,
hurt, right?
what was that?
She's not hurt, right? She's not
Not that I'm
injured.
aware of. No, because she's
Yeah.
planning on. There's a match coming up. That's a 4-way. It's gonna be her, Billy Starks, Red Velvet, and I forget who else. To determine who's going to be in that big women's match at Wrestle Kingdom or Wrestle Dynasty. I don't remember which. Probably Dynasty. They're not going to have a women's match at Wrestle Kingdom, right? I mean, come on, it's
Yeah.
fucking Wrestle Kingdom. But yeah, no, she's only wrestled 3 matches in this grading period, but that includes one Maple Leaf Pro match that she had against Giselle Shaw, which is really the only reason I ranked her at all, because I did manage to get a hold of that match and watch it, and it was fucking great. And Athena's fucking great. And frankly, actually, now that I think about it, I'm gonna put Giselle Shaw in my honorable mentions because Giselle Shaw is also pretty fucking great.
I think your face and your opinions are pretty fucking great,
So
and I
I
vibe
just
with
I
all
just
this.
I just
Yeah.
basically worked myself into gaining an honorable mention by remembering that match had another person in
Oh
it.
yeah. Way to go, bud.
But yeah, no, Athena's other two matches this grading period have been against Abaddon, whatever, and Layla Gray, who is super fucking hot, but not that great at wrestling yet.
Yeah, yeah. No, I love where your head's at with these. That's great. This is where the other list has started to become fun for me at last, because before it's like I never really watched much wrestling. Now I get to talk about the soft ground wrestling roster. I did this
Ah,
last quarter. Uh, four for me is a Noah, who is the current SGW champion. Um, I love his
can
look.
you spell that name, please?
ANOA, good sir.
Okay.
I'll have to spell my number one for you too, at least the first name probably. Little bit of a tease for you guys there. Yeah, look, I love his look. I love how he carries himself. I love again just the very concept of soft ground wrestling. You know, they've got their own ropes. Apparently, Cody donated a ring. I still don't see it. I
Fuck
wonder if he
Cody
just,
Rhodes, by the
of course. Actually, let me join in on that. Cody Rhodes. I don't know where
way.
that
We should
ring's at
make a
though.
new list. 5 hate 5s. And Cody Rhodes
Cody.
is number one of all of
Yeah, exactly.
them. Fuck Cody Rhodes.
But yeah, look, I know he carries himself really well. I like him, but here is my biggest problem with him, and it's so funny you said fuck Cody Rhodes, because for one thing, just to finish that thought, because you popped me, he apparently donated a ring to these guys. I haven't seen it, and the title match that I watched him in against One Man Army, who I'll talk about a bit later, I thought that was supposed to be in the donated ring. It didn't seem like it because they're still wrestling on the soft ground. So, like, okay. So I don't know if this is part of Cody's like white savior complex. And then he was like, oh, actually, I ran into some issues or whatever. Fuck you, Cody. I don't know though. I'm still gonna wait it out. Still gonna wait it out. We'll see if the ring comes. My biggest problem with
Fuck
Anoa though,
him.
and
I
it's
don't
so,
want to. What the fuck, Cody Rhodes? Don't send a fucking ring to the company named after not using a fucking ring, you douche.
I mean, I really do love that they're that unique that it's just it seems almost like culturally rooted, like this soft ground. And that's just
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I love
Cody's
it.
like, no, 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 no. We can't have culture. It's wrestling. It has to be all white in order to be all right.
Chavo's like, I sense a disturbance.
Chavo's fucking hair is turning white as we speak.
Okay, you have popped me too many times, Mister. When I'm trying to talk about the world champion, so I need to control myself. I need to control this damage, almost a damage control, if you will. But no, I know it's cool. My biggest problem with him, and it's so funny that we've been ragging on Cody Rhodes. He's a Cody Rhodes tribute act because, and I'm not even. Here's the thing: I'm not even trying to insult the man. I'm being because like I don't think he uses Cody's theme as entrance music, but people were literally singing his theme while he came out,
Amazing.
including the wall, which I skipped. That was the only part of the video I fast forwarded. Um, he does the Cody Cutter as a signature, and he does the Crossroads for a finisher.
Nice.
Like, my dude, you're so much better than him. What are you doing? Like, oh my god. Oh my god. You know, look, I know.
I mean,
I
isn't
know.
there a guy in SGW that's literally named like Ramar Kamesh Orton or something like RKO, like something like that?
I think there is. I haven't watched any of his stuff, but I think there is. I think I know who you're talking about. Um, uh, but yeah, like you're so much better than him, dude. What are you doing? I see a gimmick in him and a move set in him just with his look and how he carries himself that's so much better than that piece of shit. And it's like, no, let me just be a Cody Rhodes tribute. And like, fine. And he won his fucking match. And I'm like, God damn it. That probably strokes Cody's ego. They're probably appeasing him because they apparently got a ring from him that I still haven't seen. But sure. Win with the fucking Crossroads. Cool. This man, even when I find something cool and unique that I get to bring to TWitWoW and be like, hey guys, I did homework too. Cody has to ruin that too. Leave us alone, you piece of shit. Kevin, I need you to pile drive him 3 times because I know once won't be enough. It has to be a minimum of 3 or it's not going to matter. It just needs to end. It just needs to end. Oh, but yes, he is number 4. I do like him, but being a
My
Cody
mom
Rhodes
just went
tribute
full
act,
Biggie.
what did she say?
3 ain't enough, man. I need 5.
Uh,
She didn't say it exactly like that, but she did say that she wanted him to do it 5 times instead of 3.
nice. But yeah, I like the dude, and I do recommend that people check out like random matches and stuff from SGW. I would like them to start uploading like almost because I don't think they do full shows. What I'm saying is I would like them to have a full YouTube show, even if it was like 40 minutes or something, with like backstage segments and maybe like a minimum of 3 matches or something, rather than almost like these almost like scattered match uploads. So
Right.
I want them to still get more coherence. But yeah, I mean, if you guys haven't checked it out from last quarter, check it out. And there's one match in particular I would recommend to you guys that I'm going to shout out both guys in the match later in my list, but it's Ashton's turn right now. So good, sir. Who is next on your list?
Before I go, I do want to make a recommendation to you
Yes.
because I feel like there was a point in time that we were recommended a promotion that didn't use a regular ring and we kind of dismissed it offhand. But now that you're into a promotion that doesn't use a proper ring, I'm wondering if you'd be able to get into it now.
And that promotion was?
Gato Move.
Oh, right. I should check them out more. Aren't they on like Wrestling Universe, or are they their own separate thing?
I think
'Cause
they're their own separate thing. I will check Wrestle Universe right now.
actually surprised me that they're not integrated into Wrestling Universe because I know Wrestling Universe also has DDT, and I feel like Gato Move and DDT, it's
DDT, Gone Pro, Michinoku, Noah, Marigold, Real Zero One, TJPW, and Sendai Girls are what is on Wrestle Universe. So no Choco Pro, no Gato Move.
all right, fair enough, fair enough. I'll have to consider it. But yeah, in the meantime, who is next on your list?
Number 4, right on my list, is Willow Nightingale.
I love that. She's a sweetheart. I might hate AEW, but I'm rooting for her.
Yeah, she's really just wonderful. And unfortunately, she hasn't really been doing much in AEW in this particular grading period. She's done literally nothing in AEW. She's actually been all around the world. She is former CMLL World Women's Champion. She actually lost it to Soukis, I think it is, in September. But she has wrestled a couple matches this time around, and I just am a huge fan of hers, and I just love her. I guess realistically, if we have to only include women that we have really seen wrestle a lot this time around, I would just swap her out for Statlander because Statlander is someone that I've seen more, and she's also great. And she actually had a really good match with Mercedes Moné at the pay per view, Full Gear, and it's gotten praised by everyone, including fucking Meltzer. Meltzer actually praised the women's match. Holy Christ!
Yeah, yeah, that's good shit. Good shit. All right. Number 3 for me, One Man Army.
Already knew
Uh,
about it. Yep.
Yep, and he was the guy that lost to Anoa in the world title match that was supposed to take place again in the donated ring. That's another thing. Being Cody Rhodes tribute act, I will say Anoa's really good at it because One Man Army had this great heel tactic where he used a steel chain, like kind of like necklace kind of chain thing, around his hands, clocked him right in the face, and it was still only a 2 count. So yeah, you're really doing the tribute act right at least.
The
But
perfect
yeah,
Cody Rhodes
he's
tribute act.
yeah, exactly. A One Man Army, again, great look, like the stuff he does in the ring. I mean, given that they are a grassroots promotion, I try not to be too critical. The selling could use a lot of work for a lot of people on the roster, but their heart's in the right place, and the move sets are definitely very fun. And yeah, I liked his heel tactics in the match. Look forward to checking in with these guys in the world title situation before next quarter and see where it's at. But yeah, it was a fun match, and that's really what it was with New Soft Ground Wrestling. I watched two full length matches that were pretty long. And yeah, I'm really glad with my top 2 though. The other match that I watched, but we'll get to that. So who is next on your list?
Queen Aminata at number 3.
I should watch her more because I know she's
Yeah, we
really
had
been
this
stepping up.
conversation the last time too.
I know, but you know what? To be fair, I think I actually see now. I know I'm going to get this wrong because I know she had a title match recently. Was it against Mercedes or was it
It was, yeah,
against?
literally the day after our last Fave Five, she did challenge Mercedes for the TBS title and lost.
I saw that match and I thought she looked great in that match. Yeah, so I did see that at least to my credit. But yeah, please continue.
Yeah. She wrestled Camille the next week on Dynamite, and then Layla Gray the following week on Rampage. And she took a little bit of a break then from wrestling on Dynamite, or on not on Dynamite, but on AEW TV. But most recently, she had a match with Jamie Hayter in a semifinal match for the Wrestle Dynasty International Women's Cup. So,
Nice.
or it was a qualifier rather.
Nice.
And that was a 9-minute match. And I've heard mixed things about it, but it's two women that work stiff. And I've heard that there are people who were like worried about Jamie, but like Jamie's a tough woman. I can't imagine that it was nearly as bad as some people think. I think that some people are just like very precious and particular about women's wrestling, and I'm I'm sure that if I would watch it, I would be into it. I have to watch it still
Yes. Okay. Okay. Um, Number 2 for me, a new SGW guy, Bullet. He had a match with my number 1 guy, who I don't want to talk about just yet, but I mean, that's a meaty boy. A lot of muscle on him. Loved how physical he was. I will say his matchup with my number 1, best SGW matchup I've watched by far. I think when we're done here, I do want to post it in the Discord. I didn't want to post it before we went live because I didn't want to give the game away, but yeah, really, really fun match. He lost it, but and I will say why it was the best, his selling was great. Him and his opponent both. Great selling, very physical. There were two spots where I even winced. I was like, ooh, but it wasn't like gratuitous like AEW and stuff. There wasn't even any blood in it. It's just pure physicality is the word I keep coming back to. So yeah, a lot of fun with this one. Who is next on your list?
though. Mina Shirakawa, number 2.
You know what? I'm glad somebody gave Mina some love because I don't watch AEW, but I'm still missing her terribly. And I should just suck it up and watch her stuff. But please talk about it.
I mean, she hasn't done a whole hell of a lot this grading period. Unfortunately, I miss her a lot.
Yes.
But her segment on Full Gear with Mariah was fantastic. And she has wrestled a few matches on AEW's B and C shows. She beat Harley Cameron in what I can really only describe as a boobalicious breast shaking match.
Yeah.
And she and Mariah had an okay match with Harley Cameron and Nyla Rose on the following week's episode of Rampage. And most recently, again, Layla Gray. Layla Gray's popping up a lot against some of these women that I'm a big fan of. And that's about it as far as matches go. But most importantly, yeah, that segment with Mariah on Full Gear, just S tier stuff. Mina seeing because of the crowd, listening to the crowd and using their cue to anticipate Mariah's betrayal, countering it, kicking the fucking wine glass, or I guess it was champagne bottle, out of Mariah's hand, and then spearing her off the ramp through a table, and then like the intense looks afterwards. Mina had one of the most memorable moments on that entire show, and she didn't even wrestle a full match. It was amazing, and I love her.
Mina really embraces the idea of the crowd being the third man, and being like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, I love that. It's something that's kind of a lost art in wrestling. I hate how like it's hard for me to explain quickly, but I'm going to try my best. There's a plague in wrestling right now where the crowds will just root for whoever's on offense, and that leads to nobody actually being over because the crowd isn't rooting for somebody because they want them to win. They're just rooting for whoever's doing shit in the match, basically. But like the way to get over the correct way is to wait until the crowd starts rooting for you and then using that to go on offense. Like that's the correct version of being over, not being over or not, being over or not. God, I can't speak. Not getting cheered for because you're already on offense. The way that like Sami Zayn on Raw last night had this awesome moment where he reversed something that Seth did, and then rather than going after Seth and trying to beat the shit out of him to get the crowd behind him, he stopped and he looked to the crowd for support. And only when they started cheering, then he went on offense on Seth. That's the fucking art of it right there.
Yes. Yes. Love that you brought that up. That's a great point. Yeah.
That's why Daniel Bryan got so fucking over when he was over in WWE, because he was over because he looked to the crowd. He let the crowd be the reason that he fired up. He let the crowd be the reason that he won matches. He didn't win matches despite the crowd or in spite of the crowd or independent of the crowd. He won he made it feel like he was winning his matches because of the crowd. That's how you get over the right way.
Yes. Yes. That was perfectly, beautifully said.
And Mina gets that.
Yes. Yes. All right, number one for me. This was Bullet's opponent in SGW, and I think after this, I'm going to comment on the video and say not only was this my favorite match you guys have uploaded, but I'd really like you guys to do full episode uploads in the future so I could follow this promotion better. Because right now my following is very scattered because the uploads are very scattered. The man's name is Hamis Hamis Diamond. Hamis Diamond. This dude's a stud. Between the two grading periods where I have talked about this promotion and tried to bring eyes to it and spread awareness about it, which they actually did follow me on Twitter. Unfortunately, I'm not on Twitter anymore. I hope one day they jump to Blue Sky.
Damn.
But so it would have been nice to see the kind of rapport that we could have built with each other. Yeah, for a grassroots promotion, if these performers ever want to seriously go to AEW or seemingly WWE, because they use WWE in a lot of their hashtags, like, to promote their stuff, this guy is it. Because in the matchup, he had this great packaging. He has a manager, which is the first in SGW that I've seen. He has blue knee pads, which doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but it's actually pretty distinctive attire-wise. I've never seen anybody working like knee pads or elbow pads of any kind of color. It's usually kind of like black on black. Oh God. But yeah, just in SGW, like the idea that like he just has this distinctive look in that way. He is a suplex machine. I think that's even one of his nicknames, the suplex machine of, and I think they named an area, which I'm not even going to try and pronounce.
Right.
So he's got nicknames. I want him to challenge Noah for the world title and beat him for it. I think because this is a genuine package. This isn't a tribute act. And I think he had both spots in the match. He might have had one and Bullet might have had the other, where he threw him through the ropes of their soft ground ring. And he hit the grass in such a way, that being Bullet, where I'm like, oh God. Like, again, it was physical. Oh, and Hamis's finisher, a reverse F5. Like, the dude is a freak. He does a beautiful Kimura lock. So if anything, he might be a tribute act, but it might be a Brock Lesnar tribute act. But you know what? I'll take it. Because it's convincing. Most fun I had watching one of their matches. This is a guy that if I find out that he's getting a world title match, I am absolutely watching that match.
Dude, did you know that MXM Collection actually went and wrestled for Soft Ground Wrestling earlier this year?
I did not know that, but I know, certain like actual wrestlers in the business know about it, and they want to get it off the ground and get it more visible. It's for performers like this that you want to get it more visible. And again, when you give him a whole package of a unique attire, he's got a great build, a monstrous moveset, again, including a reverse F5. He could have been lazy and just done a standard one, and I still would have popped. But the idea that it's like in a torture rack position, and then he just spins him around, it's insane. And yeah, he's just believable. I immediately pushed this guy immediately, and that's why I know I've been very very curt and very succinct in a lot of my summations about these SGW guys. But again, it's because my relationship is a bit scattered. Again, I want them to start doing formal, proper episodes so I could follow it chronologically.
Yeah.
But I am so glad I took time, because again, I was putting this list together. It was getting down to the wire. It was getting close to 4:30, and I'm like, I could probably only watch one other SGW matchup. I'm so glad it was this one. I am so glad it was this one. Anything with this guy's name on it, I'm watching now. And if this guy ever wants to go pro, I think he's got the best chance of that whole roster for being a grassroots promotion. I really like him. So yeah, afterwards, I am going to post Bullet versus Hamis in the Discord. I'll be curious what people think. But yeah, I mean, of course, none compared to our God King Obafemi. I'd love to see him like make a surprise appearance and show these people and like legitimately kind of mentor them. This is how you really be a power wrestler and you get fucking over. But this guy, for being a grassroots place, there is definitely some raw talent there. So who is number one on your other list, good sir?
Mariah May.
Of fucking course, our AEW Women's Champion. Please talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I will say she has only wrestled 4 matches since this grading period started, and 3 of them were against Anna fucking Jay.
Ew.
Exactly. But really, it's just fucking character work for me, man. It's the promos, it's the character work. I still you know what? I'm glad I'm remembering this because I still think that promo that she cut talking about how when they talk about who killed women's wrestling in AEW, yes, it was me. That promo just hits it for me so much. I love that promo so much. I'm adding that to my promo of the year list along with the Kevin Owens promo on Cody recently.
Hell yeah.
Um, Killed women's wrestling promo. I fucking love that promo so much. And that I believe was during this grading period. Plus, again, her segment with Mina at Full Gear. Mina, I think, came away as the star of that promo or of that segment. But even prior to Mina coming out, Mariah cut a promo where she called Mina the love of her life, and then she betrayed her because she was taking too much spotlight.
No
Like,
pop.
I know, no, yeah, no, not enough of a pop apparently for Mariah. But yeah, Mariah is, I believe, a transcendent talent who, frankly, if she wasn't as good at being a heel as she is, they should be sending to all the talk shows, all of the sports shows, all of the late night shows, like everything. Get her in front of as many eyes as you possibly can, because not only does she look the way she looks, but she is one of the best wrestlers in your company right now and one of the best talkers in your company right now. And I mean, I brought up someone being an ambassador earlier. There is no better ambassador to AEW right now than Mariah May. Or at least there wouldn't be if she was a face. But unfortunately, she's a heel. So if she went on any of these shows, she would have to play up her heel character and be really hostile and confrontational with everyone. And that doesn't work out very well for those situations. So when she does turn face, which I'm hoping does happen maybe even next year, just put her on the fucking circuit, man. Just have her do everything because she can do everything. She can do everything. That's what I loved so much about Jamie Hayter when she was the World Women's Champion, like 2 years ago, I think it was. It might have even been last year. I don't remember anymore. But whenever Jamie Hayter was the Women's World Champion, she won it in like a way where like the build up to her winning it kind of turned her into like a semi face character because the crowd was so fucking behind her, even though she was supposed to be a heel, that they just kind of gave in and let her lean into being more of a face. And then when she was champion, she was more of a face than a heel. And that was a big moment too, where like they could have just sent her on the fucking media circuit and just let her go everywhere and do everything and talk to everyone and really be that like brand ambassador where she just makes AEW look good everywhere she goes. I think Mariah May might even be better than that. I think Mariah May might even be like better than Jamie Hayter for that role. Because I think Jamie is the better in-ring worker between the two. Not by a significant amount, I'll say that. And I don't even know if she still is anymore. I would say pre-injury, Jamie definitely was by a small margin. But current Mariah, I mean, she is just this charismatic dynamo, man. She is a fantastic talker. You could tell that she grew up. And you know what? I shouldn't even say this because she could just be this good of an actor, but like she gives the vibe that she grew up being an extrovert all her life and being a people person all her life and being really good at like public speaking and stuff like that. That's just the vibe. I don't know. She could just be really fucking good at acting at this point, and that's very, very possible. Um, but yeah, man, just let her do everything. Once you turn her face, which you really can't anytime soon because she's really dug herself into a very heel hole. But once it happens, man, just unleash her on the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautifully said, man. And now I think we can get to our universal top 10.
Yes.
Do you want to start or should I on this?
I guess I can go. I can go first.
Okay.
All right, number 10, Shinsuke Nakamura.
I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Number 10 for me, Hamish Diamond.
Nice.
I really
Number
like this dude.
Very cool, man. I like that. I did check him out on X, and yeah, he's got a great build for sure.
Definitely.
His stuff looks good too, for sure.
Yeah.
Number 9 for me, Tatum Paxley.
Love that. Number 9 for me, Chelsea Green.
Nice. Number 8 for me, Jacob Fatu.
Of that. Number 8 for me, Victoria Yuzuki.
Wow. Very cool. I love that. Damn.
Yeah.
Number 7 for me, Momo Watanabe.
Number 7 for me, Natsumi Shozuki.
Nice, nice. Number 6 for me is Mariah May.
Of that. Dude, I gotta say, for as much as I love AEW, I adore that you stand by the people you love, even if they're in a company that you find just so problematic in so many ways.
I know you didn't mean to say what you said, so I'm going to tell you what you said, and then I want you to tell me what you meant to say. You said, as much as I love AEW.
God, no. As much as I hate AEW and don't care for it, I love how much
Right, okay.
that you stand by those people. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because I know you have your problems with AEW too, but you don't
Yeah.
take it out on the
No,
performer. And I
it's
love that.
awful. The product is terrible. Are you still there? Hello?
Is this
John,
really happening right now?
there we go. I hear you now.
Jesus Christ. We were on number 6, right?
Yeah, you're number 6.
Number 6 for me, Tatum Paxley.
Nice. My number 5 is Hazuki.
For me, Braun Breaker.
My number 4 is Kevin Owens.
My number 4 is Oba Femi.
Woo! My number 3 is Obafemi.
You're damn right it is.
How did you rank Oba higher on your NXT list, but I ranked him higher in my master list?
It's because my other lists kind of conflicted. And by other lists, I mean literally like every other list. Number 3, Starlight Kid.
Damn. So you can't stop thinking about Oba, but Kid ranks higher, huh?
I mean, she beat the champion, and I'm hoping she gets the title win. And again, she did get the biggest pop for me this quarter, I think, across a lot of wrestling. Nice. So,
number 2 for me, Jada Parker.
Goddess, forgive me. Number 2 is Utami. I know.
Wait a minute. Oh, you know what? I get it. Never mind.
Yeah, I know you do.
Number 1 for me is Damage Control.
Number 1 for me, because he's fucking right, Kevin Owens.
Hell yeah.
Ruin that fucking life, please, for the love of God. I really, because you know what? No, I'm not going to say it. Never mind. No, I'm not going to say it. No,
you're going to deprive our audience of your fucking wisdom?
No. Look, no, it really isn't that, because there's a line between being turned up and being toxic and sending a really bad message, and I straddle that line way too much as it is. I'm sucking it back in. And
Shit.
There, it's gone. It's gone.
Fuck.
It's gone.
Shit.
So
Bitch.
Yes. I know, okay? I know. Bitch. Life is a disappointment. Fuck.
Ass.
Anyway. Fuck. All right. We have 22 minutes until NXT, and I don't know. We get to all be disappointed because Eddie Thorpe wins and Jada Parker doesn't. I don't know. Learn to love it, I guess. So thank you for
No.
So thank you for joining us for another Fave 5. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary Face. And be sure to leave a like as you file out. His name's Ashton, by the way. Subscribe, click the icon for notifications. Say what I'm saying about TWitWoW goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch because we are the best wrestling podcast in all the IWC. Wait, did I say Twitter? Fuck. Follow us on Blue Sky. I have a Blue Sky now, and that's the first time I botched. Son of a bitch. Follow us both on Blue Sky. I have one now. I made it. See, I committed. But yeah. It's in the background. It's in the background. So you can follow us there and definitely follow us on Twitch. Because that's like our emergency backup thing when like YouTube decides it's gonna poop, which it probably will again soon. I don't know. And yeah, it'll just be a great time. So I guess we'll see you guys again. Again, we're not doing Stardom this week because the card lineup was ass. Is it just going to be Saturday for Select Deadline live reactions?
Yeah, well, that and then weekend review, yes.
So, like, how is that happening? Like, are we just doing in review at 4:30 like we used to do? Or
No, I mean, I don't know. What do you want to do.
I mean, squeak less about it for one. That would really help.
I
But
have
God damn it! Now you have me squeaking. Fuck. Laugh at me.
Yes.
Well, I do have it coming.
Mission complete.
I don't know, man. I mean, Deadline's looking kind of ass.
Cool.
So like, I mean, men's Iron Survivor, Jesus Christ. I think women's Iron Survivor might be the match of the show there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we would just want to do select match reactions and then like a review because, or you know what, like we'll do live reactions and maybe we just do in review like an hour later. And then we just talk about Raw and SmackDown though, because we already would have reacted to the pay-per-view. So there's no point in talking about NXT in my mind. So that could work. That could work. Anyway, look, guys, we'll figure it out. All you need to figure out is showing up. Be there or be a mark. I know I haven't said it in a while. I said it. Okay. So yeah, exactly. See, you're still squeaking? Really? What the fuck?
I established that I
wanted to. Okay. Okay. Chuckle because you're giving me a hard time. I heard it. Oba, where are you? Your absence is doing all of this. And you know what? I'm gonna say
tonight and dominate fucking everyone and get into Iron Survivor and then dominate fucking everyone again. And then he needs to beat the fuck out of Trick and take his title from him so Trick can get called up and beat Nakamura for the US title or something. I don't fucking know.
You know what? This is the first time that you've been so right while turning up that I'm not even going to tell you to simmer down. Everything was just on point there. So, yeah, look, I don't even know what this outro is anymore. Just show up, people, okay? That's all we ask.
Yeah,
just show up.
All two of you that aren't my mom that are here right now.
Yeah, literally, where the fuck were you all today? We marked out about things. I was vulnerable, okay? How often does that happen? Show up. And you know what? Just because you didn't show up, and nobody's going to hear this anyway, I am going to say what I sucked back in earlier. When Kevin Owens pile drives Cody Rhodes, in the words of the Roastmaster General Kofi Kingston, you broke your neck. So what? So fuck you, Cody. Fuck you.
I'm so glad you imparted that on all of us. Fuck yeah.
WWE champion Kevin, I've never been goddamn wrong, Owens. Anyway,
remember a time I was goddamn wrong.
Exactly. Why are you booing me? I'm right.
It's so true. That's
Kevin. One of my favorite lines of all time because it's so widely applicable to our shit situation. Fuck. Anyway, I don't even know what's happening. If you're in the Discord, which you should be, it's $3 a month, and you get access to us. Like, fuck. I mean, I think we're pretty fucking great. Like, yeah, exactly. Access to our faces. So do it. Don't do it, but definitely do it, though. And definitely join us for NXT tonight. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a real gas. And I'm sure Eddie Thorpe will have a tantrum about something, and maybe Ava will stand up for herself. I don't fucking know. So we'll see you guys then. Till then, be good to yourselves and each other. Tune in and peace out.